Dual Cultivation audiobook by Kevin Chapter 351, pressured to reveal information while Su Yang and the Heavenly Swan sect left the auction house early. The other elite sects stayed behind for Wang Xuren, or more precisely, for the Earth Advancement pills. Hence, why the Million Snakes sect did not bother with Su Yang for the time being. As I've already stated, I will not reveal any information regarding my friend, who wishes to stay anonymous for now. Wang Xuren refused to reveal anything despite the constant pressure. What if I want to know about this friend of yours? Lord Zai asked her with a serious expression. Wang Xuren forcefully swallowed her saliva and spoke. Even if it's His Majesty, this subordinate cannot reveal anything. If His Majesty does not mind offending him and risking the Earth Advancement pills forever, then When Wang Xuren basically threatened them with her words, everybody in the room frowned. However, none of them dared to speak up, as it would be disastrous for any of them to offend this mysterious alchemy master that has what feels like unlimited power in his grasp at this moment. Then allow me to ask a different question, said Lord Zai after a moment of silence. How will future Earth Advancement pills be distributed? Since it can have a major effect on the cultivation world, it would not be wise to sell it without any regulation. My Zai family will volunteer to manage them. The people in the room glanced at Lord Zai with the corner of their eyes and snorted inwardly. How sly. The Zai family wants to have a monopoly on the Earth Advancement pills, or manage their flow at least. Since the Zai family is already the strongest powerhouse in this continent and also its ruler, it is not unreasonable for them to want to manage the Earth Advancement pills and balance the power of the cultivation world. However, if that happened, then the Zai family will surely become way too powerful, as they would have the ability to dictate which sect can have Earth Spirit Realm cultivators. For example, the Zai family could give 10 Earth Advancement pills to a sect of his choosing, and drastically improve their standing in the cultivation world whilst gaining their loyalty at the same time. If the Zai family does this to multiple backgrounds, then the Zai family would become so powerful that even if all of the elite sects in this world come together to fight the Zai family, the elite sects would lose to the Zai family's army of Earth Spirit Realm cultivators. Wang Xuren immediately realized Lord Zai's intentions and spoke, Your Majesty, this is not something a mere subordinate such as myself can decide. What do you mean by that? Lord Zai frowned. Although the Earth Advancement pills were indeed given to me, it's not as though I own them. In fact, I was merely selling them for my friend. If more Earth Advancement pills appear in the future, it won't be my decision on how they are handled, said Wang Xuren. Of course, what she said just now was nothing but a big fat lie, as the Earth Advancement pills were given to her as a gift, so she had every right to manage them. However, she did not want to deal with the Zai family, nor does she have the power to. Is that so? Lord Zai closed his eyes to ponder. A moment later, he spoke, I would like to formally invite this friend of yours to drink tea with me. The location and time will be at his discretion. If he agrees, let me know, After saying those words, Lord Zai turned around and started walking towards the door. By the way, thank you for the 3-seasoned snake's blood. My Zai family owes the Burning Lotus sect if you need anything, said Lord Zai before leaving the auction house. Wang Xuren then spoke to the rest of the people there, It is about time I take my leave too. If you'll excuse me, Once Wang Xuren was gone, the people there spoke to each other with contempt, The Burning Lotus sect has really lucked out to have someone like her. Although they were just promoted to an elite sect, it won't take long before they surpass us with these Earth Advancement pills, backslash her friend is a male, right? I won't be surprised if she'd sold her body for these pills, backslash does anybody want to follow her? We might learn the identity of this alchemist this way, backslash since you brought it up, why don't you follow her? I don't want to be dragged down by your silly ideas if you are caught by the alchemist and offend him, backslash. Then are we really going to sit around and do nothing while the Burning Lotus sect quickly surpasses us, backslash, until we figure out the identity of this mysterious alchemist? There is nothing that we can do. Once we do, there will be plenty of methods to handle this situation, backslash. After standing around for a few more minutes, the remaining elite sects also left the auction house and returned to their own places. Once the Million Snakes sect returned to their hotel, the sect master immediately called for a meeting with the sect elders. The Profound Blossom Sect is also in this city, and I plan on dealing with them before they can return to their sect, Fu Quan announced his plans to the sect elders. What? Have you forgotten about the immortal sect master? Elder Wan reminded him of Su Yang's warning. Elder Wan, do you believe that they would bring that immortal with them to this city and leave their sect vulnerable? If we deal with them now, they will have no proof, Elder Wan shook his head and sighed, although the immortal might still be at the sect, what about that little girl that did the killing? What if she's with them? Elder Wan could still recall Xiao Rong's grand entrance and peerless face as though it was just yesterday. Elder Wan is right. Although the immortal might not be here, there is a chance that his partner might be in this city and silently protecting the Profound Blossom Sect. The other sect elders also gave their opinions. Fu Quan had forgotten about the silver-haired girl and began pondering in silence. Chapter 352, Blinded by Anger Sect Master, please allow me to deal with the Profound Blossom Sect. They killed my disciple and your cousin, we cannot let them get away with this, Great Elder Ren suddenly spoke. Great Elder, are you serious? Even heavenly spirit realm cultivators are like ants in the eyes of a true immortal. You're just getting yourself killed, Elder Wan said to him with a shocked voice. HMPH. What immortal? I will not believe it until I see it for myself. Even if they have an immortal, I am confident in my ability to retreat with my life intact, especially when I have that life-saving treasure, after a moment of silence. Fu Quan nodded and spoke, Great Elder Ren, if you sense even the slightest danger, I want you to run away as fast as possible, even if you have to use your treasure. Although we can afford to lose a few Earth Spirit Realm Masters, losing someone at the Heavenly Spirit Realm will greatly cripple our Million Snake Sect's prowess. Yes, Sect Master, Great Elder Ren couldn't help but grin after getting the Sect Master's approval. Seeing this, Elder Wan inwardly shook his head, it's over. Both the Sect Master and Great Elder Ren are blinded by anger and cannot think straight. They are determined to deal with the Profound Blossom Sect, even if it might invite a calamity to the Million Snake Sect, Tonight I will deal with the Profound Blossom Sect when the sun is out, said Great Elder Ren. Fu Quan nodded. Meanwhile, Su Yang was casually sipping tea before the Heavenly Swan Sect's presence. Although the cultivation world is underdeveloped in this world, the tea is quite delightful. He thought to himself while over a dozen people were staring at him from the side. I have never seen a man like him before. He's surrounded by so many beauties, yet he acts as though we are invisible. Look at his appearance. With his handsome looks, it wouldn't be weird if he's surrounded by beauties every day. Perhaps we really aren't worth mentioning in his eyes. He's Su Yin's elder brother, right? I wonder how capable he is. Why don't one of you go over there and speak with him? Are you crazy? Don't you see Elder Mai standing over there and glaring daggers at him as though he's killed her family? I don't want to offend Elder Mai by speaking to him. The Heavenly Swan Sect disciples mumbled to each other while staring at Su Yang. What do you think the sect master and Su Yin is talking about? It's been nearly half an hour and they are still inside. The sect elders wondered. A few more minutes later, the entire hotel suddenly shook violently, and the power of a heavenly spirit realm expert filled the place. What is happening? Are we being attacked? The disciples and sect elders looked around with a panicking face. Wait. This pressure, it's the sect master. Just as they began realizing this fact, a loud voice resounded in the place. Su Yang. Come over here. Hearing Bai Lihua's furious voice calling for him, Su Yang gently placed the tea down and walked to their room with a calm expression on his face. Once he was inside the room and noticed the situation, Su Yang spoke. Is that how you treat your own disciples? It's no wonder why she wants to leave. He pointed to Su Yin, who was seemingly unconscious on the floor. Don't worry, she's not hurt. She got knocked out after I unintentionally released my full cultivation base due to anger, said Bai Lihua. Su Yang shook his head and carried the unconscious Su Yin to the bed before sitting down in front of the sect master of the Heavenly Swan Sect. So, do you have any business with me? Su Yang asked her with a smile. You little bastard. What did you say to Su Yin? I don't understand your question. I didn't tell her anything. How dare you still play dumb? If you didn't tell her to leave the Heavenly Swan Sect to go to your Profound Blossom Sect, would she have asked me to let her leave? You knew she would leave, hence why you followed us. Bai Lihua slammed the desk before her, nearly breaking it into two pieces. That was her own decision. I played no part in it. Su Yang shrugged his shoulders. And I have different business with your Heavenly Swan Sect. Whether you said anything or not, I will not allow her to join a place like the Profound Blossom Sect. That would be no different than supporting her to be a slut. Bai Lihua said with a frown. A slut. That's a bit harsh to my Profound Blossom Sect master. Is it a crime to want to indulge in sexual desire? I understand that you are still a maiden and have no experience in that kind of thing, but to curse those who enjoy it, you are still too immature. How dare you, Amir Jr., speak such nonsense. Bai Lihua was speechless, as she did not expect Su Yang to say such things to her. Junior or not, we are both sect masters and most importantly adults. If you curse my Profound Blossom Sect, I will not sit here and silently take it. Su Yang shook his head and he continued. The disciples of the Profound Blossom Sect are not forced to cultivate, nor will they ever be in such a situation. Some disciples have only one partner in their life, whilst others may have more than one. However, this also applies to everyone else including you. What are you trying to say? No matter how you twist your words, the Profound Blossom Sect is regarded as a place for perverts by many people. While I won't deny that most of us are perverts, it doesn't give you any right to treat my disciples as sluts. After a moment of awkward silence, Su Yang continued. Anyway, let us discuss why I am here today. Su Yang retrieved a glass bottle from his storage ring and placed it on the desk. When Bai Lihua saw the pill in the bottle, her eyes widened with shock. Earth Advancement Pill. She exclaimed loudly. Chapter 353 Enticement /Y. UT this. Where did you get this Earth advancement pill? Bai Lihua was certain that the Profound Blossom Sect did not obtain it from the auction, as they did not bid for one. Su Yang smiled and said, as you should already know by now, I have a pretty good relationship with Wang Xuren, Are you telling me that she'd given you an Earth advancement pill when the rest of us had to pay a fortune for one? Even the Zai family had to pay for it. Do you really expect me to believe that you'd received one for free, Not only did I receive it for free, but I also know the alchemist behind these pills, said Su Yang. When Bai Lihua heard his words, her eyes widened with shock and she stood up. You know the alchemist who concocted these pills. Who is it? Why would I tell you that when even Wang Xuren is not willing to reveal it? Su Yang shook his head. However, I am willing to give you an opportunity to meet him, maybe even form a friendly relationship with him. Really? What do you want from me? It's simple, really. I want your Heavenly Swan Sect and my Profound Blossom Sect to form an alliance. Bai Lihua quickly frowned upon hearing his words. Are you serious? You want my Heavenly Swan Sect, an elite sect, to form an alliance with your Profound Blossom Sect that is already on the verge of destruction? Ha. Su Yang suddenly burst out laughing. Who is on the verge of destruction again? I will let you know that my Profound Blossom Sect is currently in a state that's stronger than ever before. Although it's true that we only have around 100 disciples, it is only a matter of time before we become an elite sect and stand at the top of the cultivation world. After a moment of silence, Bai Lihua spoke. Ignoring your arrogance and impossible dream for now, what does forming an alliance have anything to do with this alchemist? Everything. Su Yang smiled and continued. Do you know why the Profound Blossom Sect is still standing despite being targeted by the Million Snakes sect? It's because of the immortal cultivator that is currently guarding our sect. Bai Lihua's eyes widened, seemingly in disbelief. Why? You have an immortal protecting the Profound Blossom Sect. And he's even the alchemist behind the Earth advancement pills. She asked with a trembling voice. That's right. This immortal came from a faraway place and has long surpassed the heavenly spirit realm, even the legendary sovereign spirit realm that is said to be unattainable. Impossible. Bai Lihua fell onto the chair behind her with a baffled expression. Whether it is possible or not, you will find out once you form an alliance with us. Bai Lihua gritted her teeth and spoke. Why would an immortal be at a place such as the Profound Blossom Sect when there are many more fitting places? What if you are only lying to me to form the alliance, and there is actually no immortal? Although we might not be the most impressive sect out there, something only unique to us must be what attracted the immortal's attention. And why would I even fart in this situation? It would not benefit either of us. After all, you can still break the alliance after learning the truth. After a moment of pondering, Bai Lihua asked, can I meet the immortal alchemist before I decide? Su Yang nodded. The immortal is currently residing within the Profound Blossom Sect. If you want to meet him, you will have to wait until after the regional tournament. By the way, if you form an alliance with us, Su Yin will be able to remain a disciple at your Heavenly Swan Sect whilst being a disciple at my Profound Blossom Sect. She won't have to leave anymore. Bai Lihua narrowed her eyes as she also realized this point. One more thing. Su Yang suddenly said, as long as you are in an alliance with our Profound Blossom Sect, we will provide your Heavenly Swan Sect with 1 Earth Advancement Pill per month. What? Bai Lihua exclaimed loudly. This is something that the immortal have already decided, so I am letting you know right now. 1 Earth Advancement Pill every month. Bai Lihua couldn't believe her ears. It would be extremely good if they could buy 1 Earth Advancement Pill every year, even every 10 years, yet they could have the luxury of obtaining 1 Earth Advancement Pill every month. And all they have to do is form an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. Even if they have to offend the Million Snakes Sect and other powerhouses, it would still be worth it. And as a way to express my sincerity, I shall leave behind this Earth Advancement Pill for you, said Su Yang as he pushed the pill bottle towards Bai Lihua, who was barely able to contain her excitement. Of course, if you are willing to form an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect right now, then I will give you 2 Earth Advancement Pills instead of 1 and another next month. You are really something to try and entice me like this. Bai Lihua didn't know whether to laugh at his efforts or be angry that he's looking down on her. A moment of staring at the Earth Advancement Pill later, Bai Lihua spoke. Step outside for a few minutes while I speak with the sect elders. Although I am the sect master, this decision is too big to decide for myself. Su Yang nodded. Take your time, he said as he left the room. Sect elders. Come to my room right now, Bai Lihua shouted once Su Yang was gone. A few moments later, all of the sect elders gathered in the room. Of course, they all stared at Su Yang as they passed him, their gaze saying, what did you do this time? Chapter 354, forming an alliance. So, what are your thoughts on this situation? Bai Lihua asked the sect elders after spending a few minutes explaining the situation to them. Although we might offend many backgrounds from forming an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect, it's all worth it if we can be a step ahead of everyone else in meeting this alchemy master. It'll be even better if we can create a friendly relationship with each other. I also support the idea of forming an alliance with them. As long as they have this immortal alchemist standing behind them, they are nearly invincible. HMPH. It's no wonder why that little brat dared to act so arrogantly during the auction. Turns out he had the backing of an immortal, and the one who discovered the Earth Advancement Pills at that. So everybody here supports the alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect, correct? Bai Lihua asked them again. The sect elders nodded their heads. Bai Lihua called Su Yang back into the room a few moments later. After speaking to some of my sect elders, we have come to the decision to form an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. However, this alliance will only last if the immortal is real. If you are bold enough to trick us, I will personally handle you and the Profound Blossom Sect myself. Su Yang remained a calm expression and spoke. You have made the correct decision, Sect Master Bai. He proceeded to retrieve 3 scrolls from his storage ring and place them onto the desk. What are those? Bai Lihua quickly asked. Cultivation techniques. Since we basically wear the same shoes now, it's only natural that I will help you. You can open them once I leave, he said with a mysterious smile on his face. By the way, if the Heavenly Swan Sect shares these techniques or dares to betray my Profound Blossom Sect, I will personally deal with you, After saying those words, Su Yang began walking towards the exit. Right before leaving, he said, don't forget about that girl sleeping behind you, Once she could no longer feel Su Yang's presence, Bai Lihua opened one of the 3 scrolls to look at it. However, after reading a small part of its content, her eyes widened with shock, and she exclaimed loudly /heaven-grade cultivation technique, /. Not daring to believe her eyes, she reread it again only to be dazed by the reality. A few seconds later, Bai Lihua placed the heaven-grade technique back down on the desk without finishing its contents and picked up the 2nd scroll. /T this is / Bai Lihua's hands trembled violently while looking at the scroll. A few minutes later, she placed it back down and picked up the last scroll. / Sometime later, Bai Lihua stored all 3 techniques in her storage ring and began laughing like a maniac afterward. / 1 heaven-grade cultivation technique and 2 immortal-grade martial technique. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. The sect elders waiting outside the room thought that their sect master had turned crazy after they were forced to listen to her laugh crazily for many minutes without stopping. In fact, Bai Lihua was laughing so loud that it had startled Su Yin awake. /S sect master. Su Yin looked at her with wide eyes. You are finally awake, Su Yin. I apologize for losing my temper and knocking you out with my cultivation. It was an accident. Bai Lihua stopped laughing to speak with her. It's fine. Su Yin shook her head. By the way, about my decision to leave the sect, you don't have to say anything else, Bai Lihua quickly interrupted her. While you were asleep, I had a conversation with your elder brother, and we came to the conclusion that our Heavenly Swan sect and their Profound Blossom sect will form an alliance with each other. You can now be a disciple at the Profound Blossom sect whilst remaining a disciple at our Heavenly Swan sect. W what? Su Yin showed a dumbfounded expression, as there was too much shocking information for her to digest properly. After leaving the Heavenly Swan sect's place, Su Yang returned to the Snow Crystal Hotel, where Liu Lanjai and the disciples were anxiously waiting for his return. You are finally back. Did you run into any trouble? Liu Lanjai asked him the moment she saw him. Calm down, nothing's happened to me. Su Yang smiled. Thank God. Liu Lanjai sighed in relief. By the way, there's someone looking for you, Wang Xuren. She came here not too long ago and is currently waiting in your room. Then I will go speak to her now. Once you are done with her, we will also have a conversation. Su Yang nodded and went to his room. Upon entering the room, Wang Xuren, who was casually sleeping on his bed, sat up and said to him, Su Yang, you are finally here. Please take a seat. I have just boiled some tea. Su Yang walked to the couch while Wang Xuren poured him the tea. After sitting down and taking a sip of the tea, Su Yang spoke, So, why are you here? Wang Xuren responded with a pitiful voice, Are you seriously asking me that now? I knew this would happen when you gave me the Earth Advancement pills, but do you have any idea how much I have suffered ever since I revealed them at the auction? Even though I keep telling them to wait, these greedy bastards keep bothering me. Even His Majesty, Lord Zai, tried pressuring me to reveal your identity. Su Yang, you were also at the auction, so you should know why I am here. Are you going to set up an audience with them? After all, you are the alchemist they are seeking. He did not immediately respond and took a few more sips of tea before speaking, of course. That's why I wanted you to sell the pills. Are you sure about that? The people you will be meeting are all powerhouses in the cultivation world with at least a peak Earth Spirit Realm cultivation. Even I would not be able to protect you if they try something funny. It'll be fine, he calmly replied. Chapter 355, even better than the Earth Advancement pill. Then who are you going to meet? The elite sects. The elite families, the wealthy ones, the powerful ones. Any of these categories will bring a massive amount of people to you. Wang Xuren asked him. After a moment of silence, Su Yang spoke. I will meet anyone who wishes to see me. Even if they do not have an impressive background, it'll still be beneficial to have more people on my side. A meeting of that scale. Where are you going to do it? I'll let you figure that out. Okay. But what about the Million Snake Sect? Will you be willing to meet them too? Su Yang smiled and nodded. Of course. Even if they didn't ask for my audience, I would seek them myself. Wang Xuren nodded, and she continued. By the way, speaking of the Million Snake Sect, they were acting weird during the auction. I'm afraid that they'll try to do something to the Profound Blossom Sect, and while you guys are still here. I hope they do, as that'll give me an excuse to get rid of them once and for all. Wang Xuren was speechless. If she didn't know of his capabilities, she would have laughed at him for being silly. The Million Snake Sect were too arrogant and greedy this time. They have offended someone they should never have for a guardian spirit, and they didn't even get it in the end. If I didn't shake his hand on that day, perhaps our Burning Lotus sect would also be in a similar position right now. Wang Xuren recalled their first encounter in Swift Feather City. Are we done with this topic? Su Yang suddenly asked her. Yes. Do you have something else for me? Su Yang nodded and said, the Profound Blossom Sect and the Heavenly Swan Sect have formed an alliance. What? Wang Xuren exclaimed in a shocked voice. When did that happen? Just now. I was speaking with the Heavenly Swan Sect before this. Should I be congratulating you right now? Wang Xuren asked, feeling slightly worried because the Heavenly Swan Sect has suddenly surpassed the Burning Lotus Sect in being the first to form an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. However, because the Burning Lotus Sect is not the one in a good relationship with Su Yang but Wang Xuren herself, it might be a bit difficult for the Burning Lotus Sect to accept the Profound Blossom Sect. Not to mention that they still hold a grudge with Su Yang for the chaos he'd caused before. I know what you are thinking, Su Yang suddenly said, hence why I am going to give you the same offer, really. You are willing to form an alliance with the Burning Lotus Sect, Wang Xuren's expression instantly became brighter. No, I am not doing this for the Burning Lotus Sect. Su Yang shook his head. I am asking you, Wang Xuren, to form an alliance with my Profound Blossom Sect. The Burning Lotus Sect is just a bonus since you are with them, and your status within the sect should be above even the sect master by now. Do you accept this alliance? Su Yang asked her again. After a moment of silence, the dazed Wang Xuren nodded. Yes. I want to form an alliance, good, then you can have these. Su Yang retrieved 5 scrolls from his storage ring and placed them right beside the tea. This is, Wang Xuren looked at the scrolls but was too nervous to see its content. Don't be afraid it won't bite, Su Yang smiled. Wang Xuren nodded and grabbed one of them and opened it. A moment later, her entire body trembled from shock. II immortal grade technique, she exclaimed. It's 3 immortal grade techniques and 2 heaven grade techniques to be precise. Su Yang said to her as he calmly sipped on the tea. That many. Wang Xuren could feel her heart trying to jump out of her throat from shock. The one currently in your hands will be given to your disciple, Zhang Ziu Ying, and nobody else. You can tell her it came from me if you'd like. As for the other 4 techniques, if the Burning Lotus sect is willing to form an alliance with the Profound Blossom sect, then they can use it to train their disciples. However, if they dare betray us, I will give them another visit, and it won't be peaceful like the previous visit. Backslash, backslash, what if they refuse, backslash, even though the Burning Lotus sect is almost certain to form the alliance once they see the immortal grade techniques. However, if in the slightest chance they refuse, what should she do with these techniques? Backslash, if they refuse, just burn them, backslash, Su Yang casually said. Backslash, you want me to burn 2 immortal grade and heaven grade techniques? That's blasphemy for cultivators, backslash. Wang Xuren cried inwardly after hearing his words. Backslash, I also have another job for you, backslash. Su Yang pulled another scroll from his storage ring and handed it to Wang Xuren. Backslash, can you help me get the ingredients on this list, backslash. Wang Xuren looked at the contents of the scroll. Backslash, although there are some incredibly rare herbs on this list, it's not impossible to obtain them. The problem is the quantity. That'll be quite troublesome even with money. Are these, by any chance, the ingredients for the Earth Advancement pill? Backslash, no. It's something even better than those pills. Backslash, backslash, even better than the Earth Advancement pill. Wang Xuren raised her eyebrows. She simply cannot imagine what kind of pill could exceed the Earth Advancement pill that has taken the cultivation world by storm. Backslash, if you can gather the ingredients, I will give you one of the pills after I am finished with them, backslash, said Su Yang. Backslash, as for the money, just use what you obtain from selling the Earth Advancement pills and keep the change for yourself. Backslash, backslash, really? You promise that you'll give me 1 pill? Wang Xuren's eyes began flickering with excitement. Backslash, why would I lie to you? Backslash, backslash, thank you, Su Yang, backslash. Wang Xuren nearly hugged him from pure joy. Backslash, by the way, since I am already here, why don't we have some fun before I leave? It's been a while since we last did it. Backslash. Su Yang placed the cup of tea down with a smile and said, backslash, it's only been a few weeks though. But since you insist, I won't turn down your offer. Backslash, chapter 356, I am afraid that your body won't be able to handle backslash, heya, backslash. Wang Xuren laid on the bed while taking deep and heavy breaths. Backslash, no matter how many times we do it, your technique always leaves me speechless, she said to him with her body covered in sweat. Backslash, that's because I am always increasing the intensity slightly every time we do it. Backslash, Su Yang said with a smile. Backslash, what? Are you saying that you have been going easy on me? Backslash, Wang Xuren looked at him with wide eyes. Backslash, now that you've said it, I want to experience what it feels like if you do not hold back. Backslash, backslash, I'm afraid that your body won't be able to handle it. Backslash, backslash, isn't it just sex? At most, my body would be unable to walk for some time. Backslash, Wang Xuren raised an eyebrow. Backslash, what do you think will happen if a cultivator consumes a treasure with a large amount of qi that they cannot control? Backslash, Su Yang suddenly asked her. Backslash, the cultivator will explode to death, backslash, she quickly answered. Backslash, that's right. Dual cultivation works the same way, but your body will not explode. Instead, the body will no longer be able to live without its partner, which can lead to mental problems. Backslash, backslash, it's that serious, backslash. Wang Xuren swallowed nervously. Backslash, just like normal cultivation, dual cultivation can be beneficial or harmful to another depending on how you exploit it. Although you may not be aware of it, by stimulating your body with so much pleasure that you almost pass out, your endurance and mental strength grows stronger. Hence why I push my partner's body to its limits every time. Backslash, backslash, now that you mention it, every time I cultivate with you, my alchemy skills also improve, especially my endurance. I thought it was the effects of the immortal grade technique, but it seems like you were the cause all along. Wang Xuren said with a face of realization. And she continued while gracefully chuckling, since that's the case, I must cultivate with you more often. Now that we are in an alliance, I will have a much better excuse to look for you. After taking a few minutes to clean up and dress up, Wang Xuren left the hotel and returned to the Burning Lotus sect to speak with the sect elders and sect master about forming an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. As for Su Yang, he went to find Liu Lanjai, who was speaking with the other sect elders in another room. Su Yang, you are finally here. Liu Lanjai beckoned him to their meeting circle. Greetings, sect master. Although it felt somewhat awkward to lower their heads to a mere junior, the sect elders in the room bowed to Su Yang once he approached them. Liu Lanjai had explained the situation to them while Su Yang was with the Heavenly Swan sect, so they had plenty of time to prepare their mind. Su Yang looked at the sect elders, especially Elder Sun, and spoke, do any of you have a problem with me being the sect master? The sect elders did not immediately respond. We do not reject making you the sect master. In fact, we have been expecting this for a long time now. One of them finally spoke up. Indeed. Although you are still young, it won't change the fact that you are capable enough to become the sect master. We have already spoken on this topic before we even left the Profound Blossom Sect. After accounting for all of your achievements to the sect, it'll be weird if we did not agree. Do you have any opinions, Elder Sun? Su Yang looked straight at him. Elder Sun smiled bitterly and said, I also have no objections. After all, it'll be much easier to convince the Sun family to accept your relationship with my granddaughter now that you have the position of sect master behind your back. Elder Sun did not hide anything and revealed to Su Yang his true thoughts. Ever since Sun Jingjing mentioned continuing their family's legacy with Su Yang, he has been thinking of ways to convince the Sun family to accept Sun Jingjing's wishes. Now that Su Yang is a sect master of the Profound Blossom Sect, the Sun family will not be as opposed to their relationship. Why don't you also say something to them, Su Yang? Liu Lanjai suddenly said to him. Su Yang nodded and spoke, Then let me start by saying that it is only a matter of time before the Profound Blossom Sect stands at the top of the cultivation. Once that happens, all of you will need to stand tall no matter the adversary we might face. And in order to assist you in that, I will be parting this Earth Advancement Pill to you. Su Yang retrieved 5 Earth Advancement Pills from his storage ring and handed them to the dumbfounded sect elders. T. This is, the sect elders were also told about the existence of Earth Advancement Pills, so they knew exactly just how precious this gift was. Once you are at the peak of the true spirit realm, just consume one of them before attempting to break through to the Earth spirit realm. He explained to them. However, before they could even respond, Su Yang continued, not only will we have more Earth Spirit Realm experts now, but we will also have the backing of the Heavenly Swan Sect and Wang Xuren. A. What do you mean by that? Liu Lanjai showed a puzzled face. The Heavenly Swan Sect and I had a conversation not long ago, and they have agreed to form an alliance with our Profound Blossom Sect. Starting today, if someone causes trouble for us, the Heavenly Swan Sect will come to our aid and vice versa. In no way, not just Liu Lanjai but the sect elders were shocked stupid by his words. The same goes for Wang Xuren, who also agreed to form an alliance with us. As for the Burning Lotus sect, they should also be joining us later. Su Yang said with a calm expression. After receiving no responses from them, Su Yang continued with a smile. If you don't believe me, you can find Wang Shuren or the Heavenly Swan Sect and confirm it yourself. That's all I have to say to all of you for now. Chapter 357, The Million Snake Sect Strikes Again. It's not that we don't believe you. It's just too shocking for us to comprehend instantly, said Liu Lanjai after a moment of silence. I am more interested in how you managed such a feat. Ignoring Wang Shuren, who is our business partner, the Heavenly Swan Sect has no relationships with us. Elder Sun said with an amazed expression. Does it matter how I did it? All that matters is they have agreed to form an alliance with us. Su Yang said. If there isn't anything else, I would like to excuse myself for now. Are you going somewhere? Liu Lanjai asked him. No, but I have preparations to make. Preparations. I guess you'll be quite busy with all of the alliance stuff after all. Although it had nothing to do with the alliances, Su Yang did not bother to correct her and merely nodded. After he left the room, Liu Lanjai and the sect elders returned to their conversation. I still cannot believe it. The Heavenly Swan Sect and the Burning Lotus Sect will form an alliance with us. This is simply too good to be true. Why would Su Yang lie to us about something this serious? I'm not doubting his words, but it feels like a dream, especially after struggling for so long. I knew it was a good idea to give Su Yang the position of sect master. Who knows what our Profound Blossom Sect will look like a year from now if he's already managed to achieve something this massive, not even a day after he's been promoted. Liu Lanjai resisted the urge to laugh out loud from sheer joy. Meanwhile, Sun Jingjing and Fang Zhelin congratulated Su Yang after seeing him. Congratulations on your promotion to Sect Master. Sun Jingjing clapped with excitement. You can continue calling me Su Yang, he said with a smile. Su Yang, now that you are a sect master, does this mean that you will no longer be able to cultivate with us disciples? Fang Zhelin asked him with a worried frown. Sun Jingjing's eyes widened with shock after she recalled this rule. That's right. Sect masters are only allowed to cultivate with the other sect master and the sect elders. Sun Jingjing cried out loud. Relax, both of you. I won't stop cultivating with you girls just because of an old rule. Now that I am the sect master, there will be new rules. Really? What kind of rules? Sun Jingjing couldn't help but ask him. You don't need to be concerned with it, as it will mostly apply to the future disciples, said Su Yang. If you say so. Sun Jingjing nodded, and she continued sometime later. By the way, are we going to start cultivation now? Su Yang shook his head and said, I won't be cultivating today, as there are some problems I have to deal with. When he said those words, his eyes were glinting a cold feeling. Oh, can the two of you also sleep in another room for a few days? I need some time alone. That's fine. They both nodded. Thank you. After Fang Zhelin and Sun Jingjing left the room, Su Yang placed a sign on the door outside of his room, warning people to not disturb him. When night came, Liu Lanjai went to look for Su Yang. Since he's also a sect master like me now, I can find him for cultivation without needing to feel guilty anymore, as it is our obligation to cultivate together. However, after seeing the sign on his door, she gave up and returned to her own room with a disappointed expression. A few hours later, when it was past midnight, a figure shrouded in black robes approached the Snow Crystal Hotel without making the slightest of noise. Once this figure reached the Snow Crystal Hotel, He immediately used some kind of shadow technique that allowed him to enter the place without alerting anyone. A few moments later, the shrouded figure used the exact same shadow technique to enter Su Yang's room that was pitch dark. I can sense his presence and hear his soft breathing. This bastard is definitely asleep right now. Feeling a presence sleeping on one of the beds, the figure appeared beside the bed like a ghost. You can only blame yourself for offending the Million Snake sect and being so helpless. Die for me, The shrouded figure raised his hands before striking the bed in front of him with a mysterious but deadly aura in his palms. Silent poison palm strike. However, the instant he moved, a strange feeling disturbed the atmosphere in the room, and the figure realized that he was no longer inside Su Yang's room, but in the middle of an empty plain a second later. What the? Where am I? How did I get here? The shrouded figure looked around while filled with bewilderment. Are you perhaps wondering how this happened? A calm voice suddenly resounded behind the figure, causing him to swiftly turn around. Why, you are Su Yang, the figure exclaimed in a shocked voice after seeing Su Yang stand behind him. How is this possible? What did you do? Where did you take us? It's nothing too complicated, really. I simply placed a transportation array inside the room and waited for you to come. And we are only a few miles away from Snowfall City. Su Yang calmly explained. As for why I did all of this, well, I wouldn't be able to play with you properly inside that cramped place. The figure did not respond even after many moments, clearly dazed by the situation. A few more moments later, the figure burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, I am speechless. I didn't expect that an arrogant brat like you to prepare for this, much less anticipate it. But you want to play with me. Unfortunately for you, not only am I lacking the time to play with you, but you are also not qualified. Once I capture you, I will return to the hotel and kill the rest of your people. Don't worry, I won't kill you yet, but you will wish for death once a certain individual starts torturing you. That individual, could he be the sect master of the Million Snake sect? Su Yang asked him with a calm smile on his face. And he continued, to send someone at the heavenly spirit realm to capture a mere youngster such as myself. I must applaud your dedication. However, if you want to even have a chance to capture me alive, you should have bought the entire Million Snake sect with you here. What a pity. Now the Million Snake sect will lose a heavenly spirit realm expert. The figure turned quiet again, but his gaze was filled with killing intent as he stared at Su Yang, who was casually standing there without any guard, as though he was only taking a stroll at the park right now. Since you already seem to know everything, there's no longer a need to hide my face. The figure removed his face mask and revealed his face to Su Yang. By the way, as long as I don't kill you, I can still tear a limb or two from your body. Great Elder Ren said to him with a malicious grin on his face, before releasing his cultivation-based chapter 358, one-sided fight between heavenly spirit realm cultivators, feeling Great Elder Ren's cultivation base bearing down on his body like an invisible mountain. Su Yang calmly spoke. Why are you acting so arrogant when you are merely at the first level of the heavenly spirit realm? Looking at your aura, I can tell that you barely made it to the heavenly spirit realm. He then raised a finger and continued. All I need is but a single finger to destroy you. Ha ha ha, Great Elder Ren burst out laughing. To be able to act as though you are untouchable even in this situation. I cannot help but admire that part of you. Unfortunately, obtaining my admiration won't save your life today. He then continued to speak, however, if the immortal that is guarding the Profound Blossom Sect was here right now, he might be able to save that worthless life of yours. Oh, right. There is also that little girl who killed our disciples. Why don't you call her here so I can see for myself if she's as powerful as Elder Wan said? I'm afraid that won't be possible since she's not here right now. Su Yang shook his head. She's not. And here I thought she's the reason for your arrogance. Great Elder Ren raised an eyebrow. But this will make things even easier. Hum. You think so? Su Yang suddenly removed the seal that was hiding his cultivation base and allowed its heavenly aura to explode everywhere. When Great Elder Ren saw this, his eyes widened with shock, and his body trembled upon feeling the pressure that overwhelmed his own. This is impossible. Impossible, impossible, impossible. There's no possible way that you are at the heavenly spirit realm, much less at the second level. Great Elder Ren unconsciously stepped backward, feeling threatened by Su Yang's pressuring aura. What's the matter, little boy? You mentioned something about an immortal guarding the Profound Blossom Sect, right? Well, he's standing before you right now. Do you think I will be able to survive now? Su Yang began approaching Great Elder Ren. However, Great Elder Ren took a step back every time Su Yang stepped forward. Why are you running away? How are you going to capture me if you don't approach me? This is a lie. This must be one of your tricks. I do not believe that you are actually above me in cultivation. Take this summon thousand snakes. Great Elder Ren suddenly used a martial technique to summon thousands of snakes from thin air. Each of the snakes had the aura of a cultivator at the true spirit realm, and there were thousands of them. If Su Yang was lying about his cultivation base, then he will not be able to survive this deadly technique. Unfortunately for Great Elder Ren, that was not the case, and the profound aura surrounding Su Yang only grew more unbearable as time passed, crushing all of the snakes with just the pressure from his cultivation base alone. Impossible. When Great Elder Ren realized that all of his snakes had been killed by Su Yang in an instant, his heart dropped a little bit from shock. Is that all you got? If that is your strongest technique, I'm afraid that you'll never be able to capture me. Su Yang continued to approach him with a calm expression and gentle steps. Million snakes array. Great Elder Ren suddenly shouted, causing the place to be filled with a massive amount of profound qi. A moment later, hundreds of thousands of snakes appeared from thin air, covering miles of land with snakes. Su Yang watched as countless snakes rained on him, burying his entire body in a sea of snakes. What are you going to do now? Great Elder Ren laughed while he stood on the snakes. However, Su Yang's voice quickly responded to him a moment later. What kind of trash technique is this? You can't even fool a child with this kind of illusion. Boom. The energy surrounding Su Yang suddenly exploded outwards, causing all of the snakes around him to fly away by a powerful force. Once he was no longer buried in the snakes, the illusion quickly disappeared along with the snakes. Great Elder Ren looked at Su Yang with a baffled expression. Even if Su Yang is really a heavenly spirit realm expert, he shouldn't have been able to escape from the illusion with such ease. After all, Great Elder Ren had Fu Quan, Million Snake Sect's sect master, use the same technique on him before, and it took him nearly an entire day to escape. It's the Million Snake Sect's most powerful technique. The sect's most powerful illusion technique. Broken within seconds. How is that even possible? Great Elder Ren trembled in shock. Do you have anything else to entertain me with? If not, I will swiftly deal with you and go back to sleep. Su Yang casually yawned. Hearing Su Yang's words, Great Elder Ren gnashed his teeth until it cracked and mumbled since it has come to this point, I have no choice but to kill him, . He then retrieved a silver ring from his storage ring. When Su Yang saw the silver ring, he raised his eyebrows and spoke, the Ring of Thunder, huh? Your sect master is quite generous to let you hold it, . The sect master gave the Ring of Thunder to me just in case the little girl showed up. But since she's not here, I will use it on you instead, . Great Elder Ren spoke as he charged the Ring of Thunder with his profound chi, causing it to crackle with lightning. Then let's see which is stronger, some heaven-grade spiritual treasure or Usura God clan's ultimate technique that even gods fear, shall we? Su Yang smiled as he retrieved a spirit-grade sword from his storage ring. This sword should be enough to withstand the power of a single strike. When Great Elder Ren saw the spirit-grade sword in Su Yang's hands, he burst out laughing like a maniac. Ha ha ha. What the hell are you going to do with that toy? Do you really think it'll save you from my Ring of Thunder? Whether it'll work or not, we'll find out in a moment. Su Yang smiled as he filled the sword with a massive amount of profound chi. Meanwhile, inside Snowfall City, all of the cultivators in cultivation suddenly stopped cultivating due to an abnormal change in the chi in the air. It was an unnatural phenomenon that would only occur when two powerful figures at the heavenly spirit realm are clashing against each other with everything that they've got. What's going on? Who's causing this commotion? There are two insanely powerful experts fighting right now, but I cannot feel their location despite the crazy profound chi that they are releasing. Not just the cultivators in Snowfall City, but even the Zai family was alerted by the unnatural flow of chi. This feeling, senior brother Su Yang, Zai Xingfeng noticed a familiar feeling in the air and immediately thought of Su Yang. Your Majesty, there are two experts fighting somewhere near Snowfall City, but we are unable to locate them. The guards reported to Lord Zai, who was also forced to stop his cultivation by the change. I will personally look into this myself. Don't make any movements yet and wait for my order. Lord Zai commanded his people before heading outside Snowfall City to investigate Chapter 359. Are you threatening me? After spending many minutes trying to locate the source of the disturbance, Lord Zai frowned. Why can't I find them despite the powerful chi they are emitting? Are they currently protected by a concealment array or something that hides their location? Who could possibly set up such a profound array that even I cannot find it? Perhaps this phenomenon is not caused by people but nature instead. It could very well be the birth of a very powerful divine treasure. With that in mind, Lord Zai decided to seek help from his father, who should be powerful enough to locate the source. However, just as he turned around, the profound chi in the air suddenly spiked. In the eyes of the cultivators in the city, it felt as though they were drowning after being hit by a wave of water, but instead of water, the wave was made of a tremendous amount of chi. This tremendous amount of profound chi that can suffocate even a powerhouse such as myself from so far away. Not even my father, who is a sovereign, could emit such power. What the hell is going on? Lord Zai could feel cold sweat soaking into his robes every second. Whoosh. A few seconds after the sudden change, Lord Zai could see a humongous black arc of light sweeping everything in its way towards the heaven that was also releasing a powerful lightning strike that resembled lightning during heavenly tribulations. However, as powerful as the lightning strike seemed, it stood no chance against the black arc of light that swallowed everything in its path, disappearing the moment it touched the arc of light. After consuming the lightning strike, the black arc of light continued to fly towards the sky, almost as if it wanted to tear the sky into two pieces, before blending in with the starry sky and disappearing entirely. Lord Zai stood there for a good moment with his eyes wide open and jaw touching the ground, as were many people at this moment. They couldn't help but think what would have happened if that arc of light were directed in the city's direction instead. Would the city split in half like the sky, or would it disappear completely, consumed by the darkness? Once he calmed down slightly, Lord Zai could finally sense what he wasn't able to just moments ago. I can suddenly sense them. Two people a dozen miles away from here. Lord Zai immediately rushed towards their direction after sensing their chi. Meanwhile, at the location of the fight, Great Elder Ren had his butt kissing the ground after he witnessed Su Yang's sword technique overwhelm the Ring of Thunder with ease. PP please spare my life. I will do anything. Great Elder Ren quickly began begging for his life without a care for his face or pride, as he did not want to die in vain after spending so much time and effort getting to where he is today. However, Su Yang was not even paying attention to him, as he was busy looking in a certain direction after sensing a presence quickly approaching their location. The concealment array was broken by my attack just now, so we are no longer hidden. Su Yang could guess who was coming, so he wasn't too worried about it. He then turned to look at Great Elder Ren, who was still begging for his life. You can consider yourself fortunate, he said with a smile. TT thank you. Thank you, my savior, Great Elder Ren, who thought Su Yang was actually letting him go, began crying tears of joy, feeling relieved. No problem. I will make sure that it'll be a painless death since I don't have the time to torture you, W what? You're not letting me go. Great Elder Ren felt his heart skipping a beat after hearing Su Yang's words. Are you insulting me? Only an idiot would let you go in this situation, said Su Yang as he pulled out another sword, since the last one turned into dust after his previous attack. But don't worry, because I will ensure that your corpse will return to the Million Snake Sect. Though it won't be a full body. Su Yang suddenly waved his arm, causing a beautiful silver light to appear and fly straight past Great Elder Ren's neck, severing his head from his body in one swift movement. A moment later, Su Yang tossed Great Elder Ren's head that still wore a terrified expression into his own storage ring, alongside all of the valuables left behind. However, he did not leave immediately and decided to stay around for a little bit longer until he could see Lord Zai's figure in the distance. Su Yang. Lord Zai looked at the scene before him with wide eyes. What happened here? Who is that corpse over there? Him. Someone from the Million Snake Sect. Su Yang calmly responded. I felt his presence before he died, and there are only two people in that place who could emit such an aura, the sect master and Great Elder Ren, and this corpse is too old to belong to Fu Quan, so Lord Zai quickly deducted the identity of the corpse. You actually killed Great Elder Ren. Are you trying to start an all-out war with the Million Snake Sect? Lord Zai spoke with a frown on his face. Start a war. It's a little bit too late for that since the war has long begun when they tried to eradicate us half a year ago. Su Yang shrugged. By the way, he tried to assassinate me in my room. If I did not stop him, the Profound Blossom Sect would no longer be able to participate in the tournament due to being wiped out. Then what are you going to do next? Lord Zai asked him. Isn't that obvious? Just like the Million Snake Sect that wants to destroy us, I want them gone. I'm sorry, but I cannot allow you to do that, Su Yang. Lord Zai said with a serious expression. And he continued, they were bestowed the title of elite sect by me, so I have an obligation to protect them. So you are willing to protect the Million Snake sect no matter what. I will give you 3 seconds to rethink your decision. Su Yang stared at him in the eyes with a sharp gaze. Are you threatening me, Su Yang? Lord Zai narrowed his eyes, causing the atmosphere to become heavier. Chapter 360. Do not offend him. Have you forgotten about who I am, Su Yang? Then allow me to help you recall that I am Zai Yimu, king of the eastern continent. Lord Zai exclaimed with an overwhelming aura surrounding him. Although you may be powerful, are you powerful enough to fight against an entire continent? After a moment of silence, Su Yang spoke with a smile on his face. Whether or not I can fight an entire continent. Do you want to test it? Su Yang, you bastard. Are you going to betray my daughter Zai Xingfeng? Lord Zai roared in anger. Why would I do that? I don't recall ever threatening you that I will let her die. I am a man of my words, especially when the words are given to a woman. Even if the entire Zai family is my enemy, I will still heal her condition. Su Yang said in a calm voice. However, that does not mean I will not fight you just because you are her family. No matter who they are, if they are my enemy, I will slay them. Su Yang gazed at Lord Zai with sharp eyes that radiated killing intent. This is between the Million Snake sect and me. If you want to protect them after what they did to the Profound Blossom Sect, then draw your weapon right here and now. Su Yang retrieved the black scorpion and pointed it at Lord Zai's face that was fuming with anger. If you turn back now, I will forgive you for pointing a weapon to my face. If you still want to fight with the Million Snake sect, then I will punish you for treason. What a pity. Su Yang's eyes flashed with a dangerous glint. You dare. Lord Zai immediately retrieved his weapon. However, before either of them could move, a figure appeared in between them like a ghost. Stop this foolishness right now, said the figure. You are Su Yang narrowed his eyes at the old man standing before him. Father, Lord Zai showed a surprised face after seeing his father appear out of thin air. What are you doing here? I am here to save my stubborn son's life. Said the old man as he looked at Lord Zai with eyes that seemed disappointed in him. Although you may be one of the strongest individuals on this continent, you are not this young man's match. What? Lord Zai's eyes widened with shock, as he did not expect his father to be this blunt, even saying this before a stranger. Looks like you can still see clearly despite your age, old man. Su Yang said to him with a smile. Him. The old man turned to look at Su Yang with a profound feeling in his gaze. Are you someone from the holy central continent? I cannot imagine this place making a monster like you. I was born on this continent without doubt. He replied. And he continued, I'm sure that you've already researched my background. So why are you acting so unfamiliar with me? If you are not someone from the holy central continent, then you must have a master from that place. Is he perhaps the immortal guarding the Profound Blossom Sect right now? Who knows? Su Yang casually shrugged. After a moment of silence, the old man turned to look at Lord Zai and spoke. Do not intervene in his matter with the Million Snake sect. What? I cannot do that, father. All elite sects are protected by the Zai family. If we allow one of them to be destroyed without doing anything and the other sees that, we will face backlashes that will harm our Zai family indefinitely, Lord Zai said. After all, if the Zai family does not protect the Million Snakes sect, the other elite sects will lose their trust and faith in the Zai family. When that happens, the elite sects might come together for a rebellion, and as strong as the Zai family might be, they cannot fight against so many powerhouses and win. Even if they happen to win against the elite sects, they will be incredibly weak and vulnerable afterward. At that time, even a decently sized family will be able to overwhelm them, much less their enemies with unknown power. Then just strip the Million Snakes sect of their status as an elite sect, the old man casually said. What kind of answer is that? I cannot just simply strip away their status without any reason, Lord Zai frowned. If you need a reason, there's one right before your eyes, The old man pointed to the headless corpse on the floor and spoke, The Million Snakes sect had ignored the rules of the city by sending a heavenly spirit realm assassin to kill the sect master of the Profound Blossom Sect in the middle of the night. But that's if anyone has a problem, I will personally speak with them. The old man turned to look at Su Yang and continued, What do you think? My Zai family will not interfere with your drama. It should have been like that from the start. Said Su Yang as he stored the black scorpion in his grasp back into the storage ring. If you want to blame somebody for this, you can blame the Million Snakes sect for poking at the wrong snake, said Su Yang as he disappeared from the place like a ghost. Once Su Yang was gone, Lord Zai said to his father, Why did you side with him, father? Now I look like a pushover, he complained. You foolish boy. Did you not witness that black arc of light just minutes ago? Do you really think you can fight something like that? Even I would not dare to take that strike head-on, what? Are you saying that the black arc of light that sliced the heavens in half is actually a technique used by him? I thought it was caused by that black dagger in his hands, Lord Zai cried out loud. After all, no human should be able to exert that kind of monstrous power. I have been watching him since the beginning. Do not offend him. He's not someone we can handle, not to mention he still has to heal Zinger. Lord Zai immediately became speechless. To think his father, who does not know the definition of fear, would be afraid to offend Su Yang. It's simply too shocking. Chapter 361 Purple Killin. After Su Yang left the place, Lord Zai also returned to the city. However, upon reaching the gates, he was greeted by many curious people who were ordered to stay within the city by the guards. Why, Your Majesty, is everything okay? Are you hurt? The guards immediately asked him. I am fine. The cause of the phenomenon just now has already concluded. It's nothing to be worried about, said Lord Zai. Your Majesty, if I may ask, what caused the phenomenon? The curious people asked him. It was just a little quarrel between two experts. It's nothing worth mentioning. Just a little quarrel. The people were dumbfounded by the unexpected answer. How could a little quarrel lead to something this chaotic? They thought it was a war between two powerful factions. I will apologize in place of those troublemakers if their quarrel had caused any inconveniences, said Lord Zai. However, nobody said anything. After all, who would dare make the king himself apologize? Even if Lord Zai was the one who caused the commotion, nobody would dare to complain. Sometime later, when Lord Zai returned home, another figure with a curious face appeared before him. Father, what happened outside? Was it Brother Su Yang? Zai Xingfeng asked him the moment he walked through the doors. Don't mention his name, Lord Zai could feel his repressed anger resurfacing after hearing his name. Zai Xingfeng frowned and continued, so it was him. Did something happen between the two of you, that bastard is the only person in this world who dares to blatantly disrespects me. He has no respect for authority or my status. If not for your condition, I would have killed him there and then. Father, Zai Xingfeng suddenly shouted, her face filled with anger. No matter what happened between you and brother Su Yang, I will not allow you to harm him. HMPH Lord Zai merely snorted at her words and walked away. Father, I am warning you, if you hurt him I will not forgive you even if you are my father. She shouted at him again. However, Lord Zai completely ignored her and disappeared. A few moments later, another figure appeared before Zai Xingfeng. Zinger, you really like that young man, huh? G grandfather, what are you doing here? Zai Xingfeng showed a surprised expression after seeing the old man. If I didn't come out, your father would have fought to death with that friend of yours, he said with a smile. My father was going to fight to death with Su Yang. Why would something like that happen? Zai Xingfeng was truly shocked now. Well, you see. Since it wouldn't do any harm letting her know, the old man explained the situation to her. After learning the truth, Zai Xingfeng gritted her teeth in anger and spoke coldly. The Million Snakes sect has gone overboard this time. To think they would send an assassin to attack the Profound Blossom Sect. They deserve to be stripped of their status as an elite sect, as their behavior is no different than bandits. Ho. It's rare to see you getting angry for others like this, Zinger. The old man looked at her with an entertained expression. Zai Xingfeng blushed and said, well, brother Su Yang is my benefactor and going to be my savior. Of course, I will be mad if he's being bullied by one of our people. You seem confident that he'll cure your body's condition. Why is that so? He asked her. I can't really explain it properly myself, but there's this aura around him that makes me feel confident just by being around him. The old man smiled and said, that kind of aura is something only people who are absolutely confident in their abilities can emit. Whether it's arrogance or confidence, as long as the individual is strong, he'll affect others with just his aura alone. It's something similar to what a king emits when before his people. I see. Zai Xingfeng nodded. By the way, how's the gathering going? How many items do we still need that's on the list? The old man suddenly asked her. Father returned with the 3 seasoned snake's blood today, which makes half of the list completed. We should be getting 2 more items next week. However, the remaining 3 items are all extremely rare items that we haven't seen in the last 10 years, especially the devil blood ginseng. With that being said, since brother Su Yang said he'll handle the devil blood ginseng, we only have to worry about the remaining 2 items, said Zai Xingfeng. What are the names of the 2 items, the old man asked. I believe it is a poisonous herb named demon roots and the blood from the unique beast purple killin. Purple killin. This is going to be problematic. The old man frowned. Why is that, grandfather? Zai Xingfeng asked with a worried face. The purple killin can only be found near the purple swamp that is within the abandoned forest. However, the problem is not the killin itself, but the deadly environment of the abandoned forest instead. That place is filled with poisonous air that is so deadly that even I cannot enter deeply without damaging my cultivation. It's that dangerous. Then how are we going to obtain the purple killin's blood? Although I cannot go into that forest, It's a different story for you, who has a body that is completely immune to poison, // Zai Xingfeng swallowed nervously, yes. Only you can enter the abandoned forest safely. However, I do not recommend it, since you are not a match for the purple kiln that is around the 6th level of the heavenly spirit realm, // Even if it's going to be dangerous, in order to obtain the purple kiln's blood, I must go, Zai Xingfeng said. Calm down, Zinger. We can talk about that once we gather the other things. As for the demon roots, you can also find it within the abandoned forest. But since it can be found around the outskirts of the forest, we don't need to worry about not being able to reach it, Zai Xingfeng nodded. It's late, you should get some rest. What about you, grandfather? I will stay here for a little bit longer. I still have to speak to your father about a few things, okay. Good night, grandfather, Zai Xingfeng said to him before returning to her room. Chapter 362. Do you have any proof? Bang, bang, bang. A guard knocked on Lord Zai's door with urgency. Your Majesty, it's an emergency, it's an emergency. The guard shouted, sounding as though the heavens was falling. What the hell happened? Lord Zai opened the door with a frown on his face, as he barely slept last night due to his argument with Su Yang. Your Majesty. We have received reports that Great Elder Ren from the Million Snake sect was killed, and somebody displayed his severed head in the middle of the street. It has caused a grand commotion within the city. What did you say? Take me to the scene right now. It did not even take a second for Lord Zai to realize who was behind this act. However, it was not the time for him to worry about the culprit, as he was too busy worrying about how the Million Snake sect would react to this obvious provocation. Sometime later, when Lord Zai arrived at the scene, he was shocked to see Great Elder Ren's severed head impaled to the floor by a spirit-grade sword. What's more, the head showed a terrified expression, almost like he was looking at a demon right before his death. There were many experts already at the scene before Lord Zai had even arrived, and that included people from the Million Snake sect. Who would dare do something like this to the Million Snake sect? This is basically a declaration of war, said one of the spectators. I think it's even more impressive that this person was able to kill an expert like Great Elder Ren, who was at the heavenly spirit realm before his death. Was the cause of last night's phenomenon caused by Great Elder Ren and the individual he fought. As the people speculated what had happened to Great Elder Ren, an individual suddenly kneeled in front of Great Elder Ren's severed head and screamed loudly. Ah! The people there immediately recognized this figure, who was Fu Quan, sect master of the Million Snake sect. Profound Blossom Sect. This is war. I, Fu Quan, swear to avenge my brother no matter the cost. Fu Quan roared, dumbfounding the people there. What does the Profound Blossom Sect have to do with Great Elder Ren's death? They only have an Earth Spirit Realm expert at most. There's no way Great Elder Ren would fall to them. Right. There has to be a misunderstanding here. The people doubted the Profound Blossom Sect's ability to kill Great Elder Ren, who should be enough to destroy their sect many times by himself. Sect Master Fu, calm yourself. Lord Zai suddenly stepped forward. Why, Your Majesty. Everybody there lowered their head and greeted him after seeing Lord Zai. Your Majesty. The Profound Blossom Sect is behind this. They killed Great Elder Ren. Fu Quan said to him with a red face. Please allow this subordinate to punish the Profound Blossom Sect for their treacherous actions. When Lord Zai heard Fu Quan's words, he sneered inwardly, sly bastard. Do you think I am ignorant? Because of your actions, I was pushed around by that brat and even scolded by my beloved daughter. Wait a moment. Do you have any proof that the Profound Blossom Sect was involved in this? It seems a little ridiculous that a small sect like them would have the power to kill someone as experienced as Senior Ren. Lord Zai resisted his urge to punch Fu Quan and asked him in a calm voice. Fu Quan immediately became speechless. If he wanted to prove that the Profound Blossom Sect was behind Great Elder Ren's death, he would also need to reveal to everybody their schemes to assassinate the Profound Blossom Sect, which would only backfire on the Million Snake Sect. It was simply impossible to prove anything without hurting themselves in the process at this moment. No, I don't have any proof, but there can be nobody else but them, Fu Quan said with a flushed face. You shouldn't accuse anybody without any proof, Sect Master Fu. It's unbefitting for someone in your position. Lord Zai shook his head. This subordinate has made a fool out of himself. Fu Quan had to swallow his anger and lower his head. However, just as everything there started to calm down, another voice resounded. Oh, what's with this crowd? Is there an event why, you are, Fu Quan's repressed anger immediately resurged after seeing Su Yang's face appear before him. Even Lord Zai was shocked to see him here, as he did not expect the culprit to be daring enough to return to the crime scene he created. After seeing Great Elder Ren's severed head displayed there, Su Yang acted shocked and spoke in a disheartened voice, oh my. What could drive someone to do something this vicious and cold-hearted, SS Su Yang, you little bastard, how dare you show up here, Fu Quan resisted his urge to pounce at Su Yang before Lord Zai's presence and pointed at him with trembling fingers instead. What's wrong with me being here? I simply heard a commotion around here and came to check it out. Are you still acting stupid? I know that your Profound Blossom Sect is behind this. It must have been that little girl, Fu Quan roared at him. However, Su Yang continued to feign innocence and spoke with a shocked expression. Why would my Profound Blossom Sect do something like this? Even though we have a grudge with your Million Snake Sect for nearly destroying our sect, we are not vicious people like you, And he continued, do you have any proof that we did it? And what is this little girl about? Are you suggesting that a little girl had killed that old man? Have you gone crazy, A few spectators couldn't help but laugh after hearing Su Yang's words. They all agreed that Fu Quan was sounding a little crazy right now, as he has been speaking only nonsense the entire time. Don't test my patience, brat, As Fu Quan's face flushed further, he unconsciously reached for his storage ring. So you are going to attack me when you have no proof. As expected of the Million Snake Sect. You are just a bunch of bullies, Su Yang shook his head. Sect Master Fu, are you ignoring my presence? Lord Zai glared at him with narrowed eyes. No. This subordinate does not dare, Fu Quan gritted his teeth and said, then until you have solid proof on who killed Senior Ren, my Zai family will also be investigating into this case. Do you have any problem with that? Lord Zai asked him. Fu Quan quickly shook his head. Good. Lord Zai then turned to look at the crowd and spoke loudly. This area is now a crime scene currently being investigated by my Zai family. Nobody will be allowed near this area until further notice. Disperse. As your majesty commands. The spectators quickly fled the place. However, this commotion would spread across the continent like wildfire immediately afterward. And since he'd already achieved what he wanted by appearing before Fu Quan, Su Yang also disappeared with the crowd and returned to the Profound Blossom Sect. By the time he returned to the hotel, News of Great Elder Ren's death had already reached the ears of Liu Lanjai, who was greatly shaken after hearing their sect's name in the same sentence. Chapter 363. An unprecedented situation. When Su Yang returned to the hotel, Liu Lanjai appeared before him with a panicking face. Su Yang, we have an emergency. She cried out loud. The Million Snakes sect, I know. They accused us of killing one of their sect elders, right? Not just any sect elder. He's a great sect elder. That's something akin to their ancestor. And how can you remain calm in this situation? What if the Zai family gets involved with this? We'll be doomed regardless of whether we are guilty or not, because the Million Snakes sect is an elite sect. All elite sects are automatically protected by the Zai family. Liu Lanjai said to him. Calm down and think about this for a moment. Do you really think anybody is going to believe their nonsense? Who are we? A low-tier sect with only 100 disciples and is on the brink of destruction. What can we possibly do to a cultivator at the heavenly spirit realm, much less kill one? Liu Lanjai immediately became speechless. As much as she hates to admit it, the Profound Blossom Sect is currently in a state so weak that they cannot harm anybody, much less a heavenly spirit realm cultivator from an elite sect. Now that you realize the actual situation, just sit back, relax, and watch as the Million Snakes sect make a mockery out of themselves. However, now I can't help but wonder who was really behind the great sect elder's death. And what are you going to do once you know? Thank him. All I need to know is that this person has helped us greatly by killing an expert from the Million Snakes sect, even if it was unintentional, said Su Yang with a mysterious smile on his face. However, Liu Lanjai frowned and said, even if nobody believes the rumors the Million Snakes sect is spreading, they are still convinced that we are at fault. Sooner or later they will come to us for revenge. Have you forgotten about our alliance with the Heavenly Swan sect and the Burning Lotus sect already? What about that person protecting our Profound Blossom sect from the shadows? Even if the Million Snakes sect wants war with us, what can they do to us? I haven't forgotten, but it's always better to be cautious. After all, who knows what the Million Snakes sect still have hidden in their sleeves? Of course. Anyway, why don't we do something to lessen your worries a little bit? Su Yang suddenly said. Like what? Su Yang showed a smile and said, now that I am a sect master, I have an obligation to cultivate with the other sect master, right? It'll have a bad look on the sect if the sect master falls behind with the other disciples in cultivation. After all, Liu Lanjai was speechless for a moment before showing a smile. And here I thought you have forgotten about your duties, Su Yang. Come with me. The other sect elders are busy trying to have a breakthrough after consuming the Earth Advancement Pill, so we have plenty of time to play. A few moments later, Liu Lanjai dragged Su Yang into an empty room before locking the door. Meanwhile, in the outside world, besides the news of Great Elder Ren's sudden death, another shocking information was spread around the city like wildfire. What did you just say? The Heavenly Swan sect has made an announcement that they have formed an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. Lord Zai almost couldn't believe his ears when he heard the news. Are you sure about this? He asked again. This subordinate is positive of this information as it was spread by the sect master herself. What's going on? Why so sudden? Are they trying to protect the Profound Blossom Sect from the Million Snakes sect? But why would they do that? Lord Zai could feel a headache coming soon. Wait a moment. Su Yang has a young sister at the Heavenly Swan sect who also has quite a reputation within the sect. Perhaps she's the one who made this happen. No, even if she's the most talented disciple in the sect, she shouldn't be able to make such a grand decision. No matter how much Lord Zai pondered, he was unable to understand the Heavenly Swan sect's decision to form an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect of all places. However, that was not the end of his suffering, as a mere hour later, the Burning Lotus Sect also announced that they will be forming an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. For two elite sects to willingly form an alliance with the same place, it was already unprecedented, much less to a small place like the Profound Blossom Sect. And as expected, hearing that both the Heavenly Swan Sect and the Burning Lotus Sect has formed an alliance with a small and relatively unknown sect has shocked the entire world or as far as it spread. This also prompted many sects, both big and small, to start investigating the Profound Blossom Sect, as they all wanted to know what was so special about them that attracted two elite sects. However, after gathering all of the information and researching every little detail, it only confused the people even further, as the Profound Blossom Sect is truly nothing more than a small sect that practices dual cultivation, nothing less, nothing more. Hell, they don't even have any noticeable achievements in the cultivation world. What's more, they are currently on the brink of destruction after being raided by the Million Snakes sect. It's already a miracle that they are still operating after all that. Even the Burning Lotus Sect has formed an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. As far as I'm aware, they have little to no connections with each other. Lord Zai frowned. Because of these three sects' alliance, the power balance in this world has become unstable, hence why Lord Zai is trying to figure out a solution. Furthermore, once the Million Snakes sect is stripped of their status as an elite sect, this power balance that has existed for over 1,000 years will truly crumble. Of course, Lord Zai was not the only one scratching his head over the Profound Blossom Sect's alliance, as the Million Snakes sect are also trying to comprehend the situation. Chapter 364. This has to be a conspiracy. Sect Master. We have an emergency. We have an emergency. What is it? Fu Quan looked at the sect elder that urgently called for him with a frown, clearly still angry about Great Elder Ren's death. It's the Heavenly Swan Sect. They formed an alliance with the Profound Blossom Sect. The sect elder revealed the news to Fu Quan, whose eyes widened with shock upon hearing that. What? Impossible. It's true. Bai Lihua, their sect master, has announced it herself just now. They said that the Profound Blossom Sect is now under their protection, as they have formed an alliance with each other. Those bastards. Because of Great Elder Ren's death, they dared to side with the Profound Blossom Sect despite knowing that it'll offend us. Fu Quan cursed loudly. What about our feud with the Profound Blossom Sect? Are we still going to war with them? The sect elder asked him with a worried expression. Although the Million Snakes sect is known to be a top powerhouse even among the elite sects, without Great Elder Ren, they are now in the middle if not the bottom of the rank among the elite sects. If the Million Snakes sect still wants to wage war with the Profound Blossom Sect that is now protected by the Heavenly Swan Sect, a top elite sect like them, they will certainly have a lot of casualties. What's more, they might even not come out to be the victor of the war. We will. After a moment of hesitation, Fu Quan declared with his eyes bloodshot. Although we will have some casualties, we won't lose. Even if we have to reveal to the world our trump card, we will destroy the Profound Blossom Sect and the Heavenly Swan Sect. What? Our trump card? But that's for the Zai family. The sect elder was shocked by Fu Quan's unwavering resolve to fight the Profound Blossom Sect. So what? We can just delay our plans for another few years. It won't make any difference. The Profound Blossom Sect, however, must disappear as soon as possible, //. But once the Zai family learns of our trump card, they will surely pay closer attention to us. Once they happen, our plans might leak, //. You don't have to worry about that, Fu Quan said with a fierce voice. There are only very few individuals within the sect that know of the plan. If there's any suspicion from any of them, I will eliminate them without hesitation. Yes, sect master, The sect elder bowed, as he was afraid that if he tried to convince Fu Quan anymore, it'll make it look like he's trying to protect the Profound Blossom Sect and be eliminated by Fu Quan. However, literally an hour later, the news of the Burning Lotus sect forming an alliance with the Profound Blossom sect also spread, causing the Fu Quan to stomp the ground in anger, nearly destroying the entire floor. Fuck. Not just the Heavenly Swan sect, but even the Burning Lotus sect is trying to fuck with me. Fu Quan couldn't help but curse loudly. This has to be a conspiracy. The elite sects must be trying to get rid of the Million Snakes sect, and Great Elder Ren's death has influenced them to finally move. What should we do now, sect elder? Even with our trump card, it'll be near impossible to fight with two elite sects at the same time without Great Elder Ren. Not to mention there's also that immortal at the Profound Blossom Sect, Fu Quan was speechless. He's never felt this cornered before, not even during the many life-or-death situations that he's been in before. Give me some time to think about it, Fu Quan finally said after a few minutes of silence. The sect elder nodded and left Fu Quan alone. Meanwhile, inside one of the rooms at the Snow Crystal Hotel, Liu Lanjai dropped onto the bed with an exhausted expression and a body covered in sweat. Heya Su Yang. Just how are you this good at dual cultivation? It's almost like you have thousands of years of experience. Liu Lanjai asked him while breathing heavily. After just 1 hour of dual cultivation, Su Yang has completely drained her body of its energy and yin qi. It was a record for Liu Lanjai, who has always been the one to exhaust her partners first. And compared to our first time doing cultivation at the Inner Court Disciple Examination, your Yang Qi has increased significantly in quality. In fact, it's so rich that even I cannot tell its quality properly anymore. If we continue to cultivate, I should enter the 6th level of the Earth Spirit Realm next week. It's no wonder why the Disciple's cultivation base exploded. Liu Lanjai exclaimed while she looked at his Yang Qi that was overflowing out of her pink hole. I read a few books about dual cultivation, that's all. Su Yang said to her with a mysterious smile on his face. HMPH. If you can become so experienced just by reading books, then every disciple would have been as good as you. Liu Lanjai snorted after hearing his obvious farting. Sometime later, Su Yang said to her, by the way, I have something to tell you. It's regarding the future of the Profound Blossom Sect, hum. What is it, I plan on making the Profound Blossom Sect a mixed sect, he said. Mixed? What do you mean by that? Liu Lanjai tilted her head with a puzzled look, as she has never heard of this before. It's as it sounds. The Profound Blossom Sect will split its disciples into 2 different sections in the future. One side will practice dual cultivation, whilst the other side will practice normal cultivation. Of course, the sect itself will remain as one place. May I ask why you would want to split the disciples? Even if it will completely change the Profound Blossom Sect and its legacy, Liu Lanjai did not immediately refuse his idea and kept an open mind. Su Yang nodded and proceeded to explain to her the reason behind his idea. Thank you for listening to the story on KevinAudio.com, Chapter 365, The Day Before the Tournament / If we remain as a sect that merely focuses on dual cultivation, unless we allow those who have abandoned us to return to the sect, I am afraid that even I cannot revive the Profound Blossom Sect in a short time, as only a very small amount of cultivators are willing to dual cultivate / because dual cultivation is generally an unacceptable practice and usually disdained by most cultivators. It will be hard to gather disciples that are willing to dual cultivate in a short time. In fact, the Profound Blossom Sect has existed for over 100 years, yet it only had a measly few thousand disciples before they all left. If the Profound Blossom Sect wants to survive in the cultivation world, especially since they are currently in the spotlight, they will need as many disciples as possible in the shortest time. Absolutely not. I will not allow those betrayers to return to the sect under any circumstances, even if I will die without them. Liu Lanjai greatly opposed the idea of letting the disciples who left them to die during the Million Snake Sect's invasion to return to the sect. They abandoned us when we needed them the most, and most of them have already joined other sects by now. Even if they come begging at our entrance, I will not allow them to return. Su Yang nodded and said, then we can only split the Profound Blossom Sect into two sections. Although the dual cultivation disciples will come slowly, they will eventually return to its normal numbers. After a moment of silence, Liu Lanjai spoke, but we have one problem. The majority of the cultivation techniques in the Profound Blossom Sect are for dual cultivation. Even if we put into account the techniques given to us by Senior Immortal, it won't be enough for the normal disciples. It's just a few techniques. You can let me worry about that, said Su Yang. I happen to know somebody who is willing to donate some cultivation techniques to us. What? Who is generous enough to donate cultivation techniques? Liu Lanjai raised her eyebrows in surprise and wondered inwardly. Of course, there was nobody in this world that was generous enough to donate cultivation techniques to another sect. As for how Su Yang will be getting the cultivation techniques, he will only have to write down some of the techniques he'd read in his previous life. Even if he hasn't learned these techniques, he will still be able to pass them down to others as long as he remembers its content, which is a feat that can only be achieved by true cultivation experts, as cultivation techniques are generally profound and hard to remember all of its contents. Then it's decided. The Profound Blossom Sect shall be a mixed sect starting today. I speak with the sect elders regarding this matter once they finish their closed cultivation, said Liu Lanjai a moment later. Su Yang nodded. For the next 2 weeks, Su Yang and the Profound Blossom Sect remained inside the Snow Crystal Hotel. When he's not cultivating with Liu Lanjai, Su Yang was with the disciples. When Liu Lanjai and the disciples were busy cultivating his Yang Qi, Su Yang would give lectures to the junior disciples. There were also days when Wang Xuren visited him under the guise of business regarding the alliance. Of course, Liu Lanjai was aware of the true reason for her visits. 2 weeks passed by in a flash, and the regional tournament would officially begin tomorrow. The night before the regional tournament, Liu Lanjai gathered all of the disciples that would be participating in the regional tournament to give them some advice regarding the tournament. The regional tournament will start tomorrow, and it will go on for a total of 7 days. Although our opponents have not yet been announced, don't be surprised if we get matched with an elite sect, as everything is randomized. Liu Lanjai said to the disciples. Once we know our opponents and it's time for us to go onto the stage, You will be able to choose a weapon of your style that will be supplied by them, as it is forbidden to use personal weapons. Backslash. Backslash. I am well aware that most of you have little to no experience with combat since we only focus on dual cultivation, and more than half of you were outer court disciples before coming here. So I am aware of your disadvantages. However, don't be discouraged and fight with everything you've got. And it's okay to lose. Don't push yourselves too hard and don't do anything dangerous or too risky. Although killing is prohibited, accidents will happen, as at least 1 or 2 deaths occur at every tournament. Backslash Sect Master Su, while you are also participating, do you have any words for the disciples? Backslash. She turned to ask him later. Su Yang nodded and looked at the disciples before speaking. Backslash. Although we have 11 participants, not all of us will need to fight. While the maximum participants each sect can bring is 20 people, there will only be 10 rounds, so at most only 10 people will have a chance to fight. Additionally, one person can also fight all 10 rounds. Backslash. As for myself, I won't be fighting with opponents that I know you girls can win. If we somehow get matched with an elite sect or opponents you cannot win against, I will deal with all of them so you can fight without any worries. Backslash. With that being said, unlike Sect Master Liu, I won't accept any of you losing, especially after all of the efforts I have put into you girls. Do you understand? Yes. The girls responded with a confident smile on their faces, which baffled Liu Lanjai. Why do they look so confident? Did they do something else besides cultivation that I am not aware of? Liu Lanjai pondered inwardly. Also, our main purpose in the regional tournament is to show off so people will have a reason to approach us when we start recruiting new disciples again. That's why I want you to fight with the intent to shock people. Su Yang said a moment later, dumbfounding Liu Lanjai. Is that why he made us participate in the regional tournament despite our current situation? Liu Lanjai cried inwardly as she finally realized the truth behind Su Yang's intent on joining the tournament. Chapter 366 Sect Masters Gathering after they finished giving advice to the disciples. Liu Lanjai said, Although the tournament starts tomorrow, we might not have to participate on the same day depending on the time of our matches. The sect masters will gather early in the morning tomorrow to receive a few words from the Zai family. We should also learn the identity of our opponents while we are there. This is all I have for today. Prepare yourselves until we return with more news tomorrow. The group dispersed soon later, and the disciples all went to prepare themselves mentally. The following day, Su Yang and Liu Lanjai left the hotel early in the morning and headed to the place where the tournament will take place, the Snowfall Coliseum that was in the center of the city. The Snowfall Coliseum was a massive place that could fit millions of people with ease, and in the center of this place was a large arena that alone could fit over 1,000 people. And currently gathered on this large arena are the sect masters from all of the sects that will be participating in this year's regional tournament, and there were over 200 of them. In other words, over 200 sects were participating in this year's tournament, which is twice as much as the previous tournament that only had 100 sects participating. This sudden rise in participants was probably caused by Zai Xingfang, who was rumored to be appearing to see if there will be any prominent young men that might catch her interest. Su Yang, don't look to the right, the sect master of the Million Snake sect is glaring at us. Liu Lanjai whispered to him after she noticed his gaze that was filled with disdain. However, Su Yang ignored her advice and turned to look at Fu Quan directly in the eyes with a smile on his face. He even waved at him and said, How's the Million Snake sect coping with that old man's death? I hope they are doing fine. Su Yang directly provoked Fu Quan with Great Elder Ren's death, immediately flaring Fu Quan's eyes with killing intent. Thank you all for coming here today and for participating in the regional tournament this year. Lord Zai suddenly appeared before them. Your Majesty. All of the sect masters there immediately bowed to greet his presence after noticing his figure, all except one young man, who was casually standing there with a calm expression. But luckily for Su Yang, because everybody there had their heads lowered, they didn't notice him, except for Lord Zai, who merely ignored him. Raise your heads. I will now explain a few things regarding this year's tournament. Take a look to your right at the lottery box. Lord Zai said as he pointed to the box standing in the open a few meters away from them. Each sect will pick a piece of paper in there, and whoever has the same number shall fight in the first rounds today. And since there's an odd number of participants, there will be one blank piece of paper inside, which will waiver your sect from participating in the first round. You can pick your numbers later. For now, allow me to explain the rules and rewards ahead of time. First of all, each sect will only be able to send a maximum of 10 disciples onto the stage. If you have more than 10 disciples participating, the rest will be benched until the next round. Once you have picked your 10 disciples, they will be sent onto the stage one at a time until one side no longer has anyone left to fight. Of course, as long as they can still fight, they may participate in more than one fight, even fighting all 10 opponents alone. Now, I shouldn't have to mention this, but killing is obviously prohibited during the tournament, as every disciple participating are geniuses among geniuses. It would be a loss for everyone if even one of these talented individuals were to perish over some competition. Even if it's an accident, if your sect causes another's death, there will be a penalty for 10 million spirit stones. We have to pay 10 million spirit stones even for an accident. The sect masters there were dumbfounded after hearing Lord Zai's words, as such a rule has never existed before today. Why would he suddenly make such a rule? Fu Quan coldly snorted inwardly. He had a feeling that Lord Zai created this rule just in case the Million Snakes sect gets matched up with the Profound Blossom Sect and starts killing them by accident. Of course, little did Fu Quan expect that Lord Zai had the opposite intentions, as this rule and penalty was created to protect the Million Snakes sect just in case they run into Su Yang, who might slaughter all of their disciples by accident. As for Su Yang, he merely shook his head after hearing this rule. Do you really believe that I would indiscriminately kill their disciples just because of our situation? Now onto the reward for this year's regional tournament. Lord Zai continued a moment later. If your sect places in the 4th to the 10th place, the Zai family will award you each with 500,000 spirit stones, 5 spirit-grade spiritual treasures of your choosing, and allow your sect to borrow 1 earth-grade cultivation technique of your choosing from my Zai family's treasury for 10 years. For the 3rd place, you shall be awarded 2 million spirit stones, 2 earth-grade spiritual treasures of your choosing, and borrow 3 earth-grade cultivation technique of your choosing for 10 years. For the 2nd place, you shall be awarded 5 million spirit stones, 1 heaven-grade spiritual treasure of your choosing, and borrow 1 heaven-grade cultivation technique for 10 years. As for the 1st place, you shall be awarded 10 million spirit stones, 2 heaven-grade spiritual treasures of your choosing, borrow 2 heaven-grade cultivation techniques for 10 years, and will have the privilege to send up to 3 disciples from your sect to cultivate in the celestial pond for 7 days. The the celestial pond, backslash. Most of the sect masters there expressed a shocked expression after hearing the name celestial pond, almost as though they couldn't even believe their ears. Backslash celestial pond. What's that? However, neither Liu Lanjai or Su Yang have heard of this place before, so they only raised their eyebrows slightly, silently wondering why the other sect masters were acting so surprised. Chapter 367, the first day of the regional tournament, backslash. What's this celestial pond, backslash? Su Yang asked Liu Lanjai, who quickly shook her head. Backslash, I also don't know. But seeing how the other sect masters have reacted to its name, it should be something extremely valuable, backslash, she said to him. Meanwhile, the sect masters there were staring at Lord Zai with gazes filled with excitement, as this is the first time the Zai family is willing to open the profound celestial pond for the public. However, Lord Zai was not finished speaking, and so he continued, backslash, furthermore, if you placed first place, the sect master and one disciple of your choosing will be invited to dinner with my Zai family, backslash. When the sect masters heard this, their eyes widened with shock. Lord Zai smiled upon seeing the sect master's expressions and continued to speak, backslash, of course. This was proposed by my daughter, Zai Xingfang, backslash. Almost all of the sect masters tightly grasped their hands into fists from sheer excitement. If they take the first place, they will be able to bring their most talented male disciple to share a dinner table with Zai Xingfang, essentially hooking them up. Lord Zai snorted when he saw the excitement on these sect masters' expressions, and he laughed inwardly. This dinner was only brought up because my daughter is confident that Su Yang will take first place, as if a mere disciple could possibly defeat someone who could kill a heavenly spirit realm cultivator. Backslash, now that I have said everything I needed to, you may start picking your numbers from the box, backslash, Lord Zai said to them a moment. The sect masters nodded and began lining up at the box before each of them retrieved a piece of paper from it. Sometime later, when everybody there had picked their number, Lord Zai spoke, backslash, who picked the blank paper, backslash. A few moments later, someone raised his hands. Backslash, you drew the blank paper, backslash. Lord Zai looked at Su Yang with wide eyes. Su Yang showed him the blank piece of paper in his hands with a smile on his face. Backslash, does this mean we get to sit out in the first round? He asked a moment later. After a moment of silence, Lord Zai nodded. Backslash, you don't have to participate in the first round and will directly enter the second round. Backslash, Su Yang nodded, and since there was nothing else to do, he returned to the hotel with Liu Lanjai soon afterward. Backslash, Chi, how lucky of them. I'm sure there are many people here who hope they matched with the Profound Blossom Sect. Backslash, even if they manage to enter the second round, that'll be as far as they go, backslash, indeed. Having luck will not get you far if anywhere in this tournament, backslash. The sect masters there sneered at the Profound Blossom Sect's luck, believing that they just dodged a deadly strike and managed to live another day. Meanwhile, Liu Lanjai relayed the news to the disciples and sect elders. Backslash, what? We don't have to participate in the first rounds and get to automatically enter the second round, backslash. The disciples were dumbfounded by the news, as they have been anticipating the tournament for the entire night, only to be told that they'll have to wait another day before they can truly participate. Backslash, with that being said, I advise you all to watch the others fight later today. This way, you will have a better understanding of their power before fighting them, backslash, said Liu Lanjai. The disciples quickly nodded. They were already going to watch the tournament even if Liu Lanjai didn't mention it. A few hours later, everybody from the Profound Blossom Sect made their way to the Snowfall Coliseum, where hundreds of thousands of people were already gathered. Backslash, I have never seen this many people in one place in my life before. Backslash, The junior disciples were in awe at the scene. If one looked from a distance, the Snowfall Colosseum would seem like a black ocean, especially outside the Colosseum, where thousands of people are still trying to enter. But luckily for the Profound Blossom Sect, as participants, they were allowed to enter through the back door of the Colosseum without needing to wait like the masses. A few minutes later, the Profound Blossom Sect arrived in the area that is only meant for the participants and took a seat there. Brother. Over here, Su Yin immediately waved at him after seeing his group. The Heavenly Swan Sect had purposefully reserved some seats for them. That's the Profound Blossom Sect. More than half of them are little kids. The Heavenly Swan Sect disciples were dumbfounded to see so many children in a place meant for adults such as the Profound Blossom Sect. Apparently these children make up half of their entire sect after their incident with the Million Snakes sect, said another disciple. No way. How are they still considered a sect with that little amount of disciples, While the Heavenly Swan Sect disciples mumbled to each other about the junior disciples, the Profound Blossom Sect took their seat. Where's the Burning Lotus Sect, Liu Lanjai asked after realizing their absence. They are over there. Su Yin pointed to the stage, where two groups of people were gathered on two different sides. They are in the first match. Who are their opponents? Liu Lanjai raised an eyebrow. Because they left the place immediately after picking their number, neither Su Yang or Liu Lanjai knew about the schedule. The Golden Altar Sect. Bai Lihua suddenly responded. Greetings, Senior Bai, Liu Lanjai respectfully bowed to Bai Lihua, who was the sect master of the Heavenly Swan Sect. Bai Lihua nodded and she continued, by the way, we are matched with the Golden Eagle Sect, a mid-grade place. She then looked at Su Yang and said, one more thing. Although we have formed an alliance, if we have to fight each other during this tournament, my Heavenly Swan Sect will not go easy on you, so don't take it to the heart if you lose. I can say the same words to you, Su Yang replied with a smile on his face. Chapter 368 Celestial Pond By the way, what's the Celestial Pond? Su Yang asked Bai Lihua after sitting down. The Celestial Pond is something that exists within the Celestial Mountain, where the Zai family's ancestor is rumored to be in closed cultivation. As for the Celestial Pond itself, it is a small pond that contains some kind of heavenly water that is naturally filled with profound qi. It is also rumored that if you cultivate there, your cultivation speed will increase by 100 folds. In other words, if you cultivate there for 7 days, it'll be akin to cultivating for 700 days. Bai Lihua explained to him. How can something that amazing exist in this world? Liu Lanjai expressed astonishment after hearing that. She now understands why all of the sect masters were so excited about it. Yes, it's an amazing place that defies the heavens. However, it will require about 100 years to restore its profound qi after a month of cultivation in the pond. Bai Lihua continued. 100 years for a month of cultivation. And the Zai family is willing to give 7 days to the winner of this tournament. That's almost too generous even for them. Liu Lanjai said. Bai Lihua nodded. Indeed it's too generous of them. In fact, a few of the sect masters believes that the Zai family is somehow aware of the outcome of the tournament, hence why they are willing to give out such an award. You mean the Zai family knows who will win this tournament and purposefully picked this reward as a gift for them? That sounds a little bit too ridiculous. Liu Lanjai raised her eyebrows. After all, Why would the Zai family do something like this when they can directly give access to the celestial pond without using the tournament as an excuse? Who knows? It's also possible that the Zai family is feeling extremely generous this year. It's just a conspiracy at the end of the day, Bai Lihua shrugged. Celestial pond, Su Yang mumbled to himself. Within the four divine heavens, there were many locations that are similar to this celestial pond, and they are mostly occupied by the strongest households. Even if it cannot compare to the ones in the divine heavens, it should greatly assist my cultivation at its current level. He nodded to himself. After waiting around for half an hour, two figures appeared on the platform that was near the arena, where luxurious seats were arranged. His Majesty Lord Zai has arrived. Her Highness Princess Zai has arrived. The guards around the Colosseum shouted loudly when their figures appeared, and everybody in the Colosseum instantly stood up and lowered their heads towards their direction. Lord Zai casually waved his sleeves before sitting down on one of the luxurious seats while Zai Xingfeng, who was wearing a veil on her face, sat beside him. That's Fairy Zai. This is my first time seeing her. Although she has a veil covering her face, I can tell that she's a peerless beauty underneath it. Look at her fair skin and flawless figure. She's no doubt a peerless beauty. Nearly everybody in the Colosseum was looking at Zai Xingfeng at this moment, as she rarely shows up in public if ever. Are you sure that you want to be here? If your body suddenly, Lord Zai looked at her with worried eyes. If Zai Xingfeng did not beg him to allow her to appear today, he would not have allowed her to leave the house because of the condition of her body. "I'll be fine, father. If anything happens, Su Yang is here, said Zai Xingfeng as she turned to look at the direction of Su Yang. Lord Zai narrowed his eyes at Su Yang, who was casually surrounded by beauties on all sides. A few hours of silence later, Lord Zai turned to look at the old man that was standing near the stage and nodded his head. The old man noticed Lord Zai's signal and quickly stepped onto the stage. Thank you to everyone for coming here today. I, Zai Dong, will be the referee today. Before we start the first match of the day, allow me to explain a few rules. First and foremost, killing is prohibited in the arena. Even if it's an accident, if you kill your opponent, your sect will be fined for 10 million spirit stones. 10 million spirit stones. The spectators were dumbfounded by this new rule. 10 million spirit stones is an astronomical amount of wealth even for elite sects, much less the rest. If they kill someone today, they will definitely go bankrupt. Once that happens, the sect will no longer be able to support its disciples and collapse. Won't this new rule put unnecessary pressure onto the participants, restricting their full prowess? If I were them, I would be too scared to fight. Right. Accidents are bound to happen. 10 million spirit stones is simply too harsh of a punishment. The spectators whispered their concerns to each other. For the second rule, the participants are prohibited from using personal weapons and treasures to avoid unfairness. Unlike martial techniques that require one's talent to master, wielding a powerful treasure to overpower your opponent does not require such a thing. Hence why the tournament prohibited the use of personal weapons. After all, if one can enter the stage with a powerful weapon that cannot be revealed, what point would be left for a tournament of skills? 3. The participant must have the protective charm that was given to them before they enter the stage, as this will allow them to fight without worrying about accidentally killing each other. Unless your opponent is in the heavenly spirit realm, they will not be able to inflict any deadly injuries onto your body. Additionally, I will be watching very carefully just in case anything goes wrong, so fight to your heart's content. backslash, backslash. These are the three major rules of this tournament. And without further ado, allow me to introduce the participants for the first match today: Golden Altar Sect and Burning Lotus Sect, backslash. After Zai Dong introduced the two parties, the Burning Lotus Sect and the Golden Altar Sect stepped onto the stage, causing the spectators to explode with excitement. Chapter 369. First match after the Burning Lotus Sect and the Golden Altar Sect stepped onto the stage. Their disciples stared at each other with a fierce gaze, and their aura was emitting a profound feeling that seemed as though they were ready to fight at any second. Each side had a total of 20 disciples, the maximum amount one sect can bring. However, there was a clear distinction between the disciples of each sect. Although the disciples of the Golden Altar Sect were emitting an impressive aura that made them seem powerful and profound, the disciples of the Burning Lotus Sect emitted a domineering pressure that made the spectators feel as though they were ants looking at real mountains, huge and impossible to dominate. Backslash. As expected of the Burning Lotus Sect and their disciples, 15 out of their 20 participants are at the Earth Spirit realm. It must be the Earth Advancement pills. Backslash. Lord Zai looked at the Burning Lotus Sect with narrowed eyes, feeling as though they have been growing too powerful too quickly. If the Burning Lotus Sect continues to grow at this rate, they may surpass the Zai family in a few decades, if not years. Backslash. Father, were the Burning Lotus Sect always this powerful? As far as I was aware, they are only wealthy. But now they have so many disciples at the Earth Spirit realm. Backslash. Zai Xingfeng expressed her astonishment after seeing their lineup. Backslash. I wouldn't be surprised if most of their disciples are already at the Earth Spirit realm by now because of the Earth Advancement pills. Backslash. Lord Zai shook his head. Backslash. Earth Advancement pills. What's that? Zai Xingfeng asked. Backslash. You were in seclusion during the last few weeks, so it's not surprising that you don't know about the Earth Advancement pills that have the ability to help a cultivator at the peak of the true spirit realm reach the Earth Spirit realm with guaranteed success. Backslash. Lord Zai casually explained it to her. Backslash. A mythical pill like that exists. Backslash. Zai Xingfeng's eyes widened from shock behind her veil. Backslash. Apparently. Backslash. Lord Zai shrugged. Backslash. It was only discovered some time ago. Backslash. As Lord Zai and Zai Xingfeng chatted with each other, they watched the disciples from the Burning Lotus Sect and the Golden Altar Sect fight each other. Backslash. Damn it. Why have we encountered so much misfortune as of lately? Not only was one of our sect elders slaughtered by someone, we got matched with the Burning Lotus Sect in the first round. Backslash. The sect master of the Golden Altar Sect cursed inwardly as he watched his disciples lose to the disciples from the Burning Lotus Sect. In fact, with the vast disparity between their cultivation bases, it was not even a decent competition between the two sects, it was pure domination. Backslash. Holy shit. The Burning Lotus Sect has only sent out 3 people so far, but the Golden Altar Sect is already on their 9th disciple. One more and the Burning Lotus Sect wins this round. Backslash. The spectators roared with excitement as the Burning Lotus Sect dominates the Golden Altar Sect with ease. Backslash. The Golden Altar Sect has just lost their 10th disciple on the stage. It's the Burning Lotus Sect's victory in the first match today. Backslash. Zai Dong announced the results after the Golden Altar Sect's last disciple fell to the arena floor unconscious. Backslash. This is weird, although it's not weird for the Burning Lotus Sect to have so many Earth Spirit Realm cultivators because of the Earth Advancement pills. Where did they obtain those martial techniques? I know most of their martial techniques, but I did not recognize some of the martial techniques they have displayed today. Backslash. Lord Zai narrowed his eyes with a pondering expression. What's wrong with that? There are new martial techniques discovered every year, Zai Xingfeng said to him. Yes, but those techniques fit their style perfectly. It's almost like these techniques were created specifically for them. It was not just Lord Zai who noticed this. Bai Lihua turned to look at Su Yang with suspicious eyes and asked, those martial techniques used by the disciples of the Burning Lotus sect were at least of the earth grade. Did you give the techniques to them? Maybe. Su Yang said with a slight smile. However, they were barely able to control the techniques. What about your disciples? How's their progress with the techniques? Hearing his question, Bai Lihua spoke with a smile on her face. The Heavenly Swan sect is not one of the top elite sects without a reason. After the Burning Lotus sect finished their match, the next match immediately began. However, unlike the Burning Lotus sect that swept through their opponents with ease, it took twice as long for the others to end their match, and this continued for the next 10 matches. Sometime later, Bai Lihua suddenly stood up and spoke, get ready. We are next, The 20 participants immediately stood up before being led away by Bai Lihua. Don't forget to watch me closely when I am on stage. I will see you later, brother. Su Yin waved at him as she left with Bai Lihua, and surrounding her was a feeling of confidence. A few minutes later, Zai Dong announced the next match. For the next match, we have the Heavenly Swan sect and the Golden Eagle sect. The Golden Eagle sect is truly unlucky to have matched up with one of the top elite sects in their first match. I would give the Golden Eagle sect 10 minutes before they lose. I am willing to bet 10 spirit stones that they won't last 5 minutes. The spectators began betting on the results. Who wants to go first? Bai Lihua asked her disciples. Me. Pretty much all of the disciples raised their hands simultaneously. Me. Sect Master, let me fight first. Su Yin shouted, showing her enthusiasm to fight. Hell, maybe she just can't wait to show off her abilities to Su Yang. Bai Lihua couldn't help but smile after seeing Su Yin's enthusiasm and bright expression. Okay, you can go first. Thank you, Sect Master. Su Yin quickly bowed to her before running towards the stage. Chapter 370 Peerless Genius Su Yin. The Golden Eagle sect has sent out Yao Chang, who is at the 5th level of the True Spirit Realm. Zai Dong announced. A few moments later, a small figure could be seen walking onto the stage, and Zai Dong spoke with excitement. The Heavenly Swan sect has decided to send out their youngest disciple, Su Yin, who is also a part of one of the 4 great families. Whilst being at the young age of 15, she has achieved the peak of the True Spirit Realm. Truly a genius of the famous Su family. Su Yin of the Su family. Zai Xingfeng raised her eyebrows. She's Su Yang's younger sister. As expected of someone related to him, her talent is quite frightening, even surpassing mine if not for my heavenly constitution. What kind of divine medicine did they feed this young girl? She was barely at the True Spirit Realm 1 year ago. Lord Zai also expressed his surprise. However, after looking at Su Yin for a few more moments, Lord Zai noticed a hint of power within her that belonged to the Earth Spirit Realm. She's already entered the Earth Spirit Realm and is only suppressing her cultivation to the True Spirit Realm. I entered the Earth Spirit Realm when I was 16 years old, and that is mostly because of my heavenly constitution that allows me to absorb profound chi much faster than average cultivators. For her to achieve this feat without a divine body, not to mention her relationship with him, I can't help but envy her slightly. Zai Xingfeng sighed inwardly as she watched Su Yin's body explode with power and easily knock her opponent unconscious. Backslash. What a powerful technique executed by Su Yin just now. Its explosive power instantly knocked Yao Chang unconscious despite the defensive technique he'd used. If I had to take a guess, that was a heaven-grade technique. Backslash. Zai Dong shouted with excitement. Backslash, to perform a heaven-grade technique so flawlessly at such a young age. Her future is limitless. Backslash, backslash, what is the name of that technique? It's so devastating, backslash, backslash, as expected of the Su family's #1 genius. As long as they have her in their family, they will become the best of the 4 great families with ease, backslash. The spectators exploded with praises for Su Yin and the Su family after witnessing Su Yin's astonishing talent and display of skills. After winning her first match, Su Yin turned to Su Yang's direction and waved at him with a bright smile on her face. Backslash, what do you think? It only took her a single week to master the second form of the 7 heavenly forms to that degree, backslash. Bai Lihua looked at him from the stage with a smug look on her face and spoke to him using spiritual sense, acting like it was her own achievement. Backslash, it's decent, I guess. Backslash, Su Yang responded with a nonchalant expression. Backslash, HMPH. Keep acting like everything is not worth mentioning in your eyes. Backslash. Bai Lihua coldly snorted before ignoring him. While Su Yin's progress may appear astonishing in the eyes of the cultivators in this world, it could only be considered mediocre in the 4 divine heavens. After defeating her first opponent, Su Yin decided to remain on the stage and continued to fight the following rounds. Backslash, second heavenly form, heavenly spiral fist, backslash. Su Yin punched her first outward, sending an enormous amount of profound qi at her terrified opponent while twisting the air around him. And unfortunately for Su Yin's opponent, who was only at the 7th level of the true spirit realm, he was helpless against her strike and flew out of the stage after being struck while spinning in the air uncontrollably. Backslash, who's next? Backslash, Su Yin proudly stood on the stage and shouted. Although she just fought her 8th fight in a row, she was still breathing calmly. Backslash, at this rate, none of us will have a turn, backslash, the other heavenly swan sect disciples sighed. Backslash, the disparity between the participants for this year's regional tournament is as wide as heaven and earth. In the previous years, we would have at most 1 or 2 participants that are at the earth spirit realm. However, there are over a dozen of them this year, and most of them are from the same place. Backslash, Zai Xingfeng showed a bitter smile underneath her veil. Although she was happy for these talented disciples' achievements, it made this year's tournament a little bit too one-sided and boring for her. Backslash, and this is all caused by the Earth Advancement pill. It's almost cheating, no, it's basically cheating. Backslash, backslash, indeed. However, there is nothing we can do about it as the Earth Advancement pill had appeared at the wrong time. Perhaps the next regional tournament will be more competitive when everyone has access to the Earth Advancement pills. Backslash, Lord Zai said to her. Backslash, the Burning Lotus sect has 15 participants at the Earth Spirit realm. Unless another sect has the equal prowess or some unforeseen event occurs, they are pretty much guaranteed second place in this tournament. Backslash, backslash, only second. Who would be first then? Lord Zai asked her. Backslash, the Profound Blossom Sect, of course. Backslash, Zai Xingfeng immediately answered with a smile on her face. Backslash, backslash, Lord Zai merely shook his head with a bitter smile on his face. Although he did not want to admit it, the Profound Blossom Sect is almost guaranteed to win first place for this regional tournament. Sometime later, Su Yin walked off the stage after defeating her 10th opponent, beating an entire sect by herself, which has only been achieved 2 other times ever since the tournament first began, and each time it was achieved by a peerless genius that would become a famous expert in the future. Backslash. Wow, seeing your apprentice brother's younger sister is really amazing. Backslash, it's hard to believe that she's at the same age as some of us backslash. The junior disciples from the Profound Blossom Sect showed astonishment on their faces after witnessing Su Yin's domination on the stage. Chapter 371, Unfaithful Bastard / Your Little Sister. What terrifying talents! Liu Lanjai mumbled with wide eyes. Even though she already knew that Su Yin was a talented individual, it was still surprising to witness the extent of her talents in person. A few minutes later, the Heavenly Swan sect returned to their seats. What do you think of my performance just now, brother? Su Yin asked him with a cheeky smile on her face. It was pretty decent. He calmly responded, somewhat praising her. Good job, Su Yin. Bailihua suddenly appeared behind her with a satisfied expression. I knew you would not waste the Earth Advancement pill. However, even without the pill, I am confident that you would have displayed similar brilliance on the stage. Because Su Yin is the Heavenly Swan sect's most talented disciple, it was only natural that Bailihua would have given Su Yin the only Earth Advancement pill they had at that moment. By the way, where is the Burning Lotus sect? I thought they would come here after winning their match. Liu Lanjai suddenly asked. They returned to their hotel immediately after their match to prepare for their next match. They seem pretty serious about winning this year's regional tournament. I don't blame them. Considering their current position, they have the highest chance of taking first place this year. Bailihua said. If I had a dozen more Earth Spirit Realm participants than my competitors, I wouldn't be able to take this tournament as seriously as the Burning Lotus sect. Liu Lanjai could not understand why the Burning Lotus sect was being so cautious despite being miles ahead of everyone else in the tournament. They have their own worries, said Su Yang with a mysterious smile on his face. After the Heavenly Swan sect's match, there were only a few more matches remaining for that day. A few hours later, it was time for the last match. For the final match of the day, we have the Million Snakes sect and their opponents, the Azure Cloud sect, the Azure Cloud sect, Although they are not an elite sect yet, they have some talented disciples that rival even top geniuses from an elite sect. Bailihua said. They are not bad, but unfortunately for them, the Million Snakes sect is their opponent. When the disciples from the Million Snakes sect walked onto the stage, Su Yang narrowed his eyes. These bastards, he mumbled with a hint of anger in his eyes. What's the matter, Su Yang? Liu Lanjai asked him after noticing his unpleasant expression. They are all poisoned. He quickly responded. What? Liu Lanjai and Bailihua turned to look at him with wide eyes. What do you mean by that? They look perfectly healthy to me, Bailihua said to him after taking a look at the Million Snakes sect's disciples. Have you ever heard of the spirit conversion poison? He asked them. They quickly shook their heads. It's a unique type of medicine that allows one to obtain enormous strength by sacrificing their own cultivation. Once someone consumes this type of medicine, their prowess will rise to a new height for the next few days, but their cultivation base will slowly dissipate. Additionally, their lost cultivation base can never be restored even after the medicine loses its effects. What? Won't they become crippled if their cultivation cannot be restored? Liu Lanjai covered her mouth from shock. If what you say is true, they are breaking the rules by using external help for strength and will be disqualified. However, if you can tell, surely Lord Zai can see it too. If that's that case, why is he not saying anything? Lihua expressed her doubts. He's not saying anything because he is just like you, unaware of it. By the way, it's not something you can see with your eyes. Su Yang shook his head. Then how can you tell? Lihua frowned. Simple. I smelled it. Smell. Lihua lifted her eyebrows. How can he possibly smell their bodies from so far away? Not even dogs can do that. Albeit faint, when someone consumes the spirit conversion poison, their body will emit a unique odor that is a little sweet and flowery. Of course, if you are not experienced with the poison, you will not recognize it. Su Yang explained. If that's the case, why don't you report it to the Zai family and have them disqualified? Lihua said. Because it'll be more entertaining to see them lose even with their little tactic. Su Yang said with a mysterious smile on his face. Lose. You actually think the Million Snake sect will lose to the Azure Cloud sect? Even without the support of this poison, the Million Snake sect can easily win this match. However, Su Yang did not respond and merely continued to smile. Su Yin suddenly noticed a familiar-looking figure on the stage and immediately pointed to her. Elder brother, look over there. That girl standing behind the sect master of the Azure Cloud sect. It's Sister Yuer, your fiancé. What? Everybody from the Profound Blossom Sect turned to look at Su Yang and the beautiful girl on the stage with a shocked face when they heard the word fiancé. Oh, is that why her face seemed so familiar when I first saw her? Su Yang was pleasantly surprised to learn that his fiancé was also participating in this tournament. If Su Yin did not remind him, he would never have realized it. Su Yang. You had a fiancé. Liu Lanjai was shocked to the core to learn this information. To think she'd slept with a man who already has a fiancé and enjoyed it. Apparently. He shrugged. You joined the Profound Blossom Sect when you already have a fiancé. You unfaithful bastard. Lihua was speechless. Calm down. Don't look at me like I am a villain without knowing the full story. Su Yang frowned after seeing Lihua look at him with a disgusted expression. Chapter 372 Impossible. Due to some circumstances, I lost all of my memories before becoming a disciple at the Profound Blossom Sect, and only recently did I recover these memories. And while I indeed have a fiancé, it was all decided by my family, which I am no longer a part of, so we no longer have any relationships. In fact, we have never really spoken to each other before. Su Yang calmly explained the situation to the people around him, who showed a variety of expressions from doubt to surprise. Oh, right, I nearly forgot about that. Liu Lanjai showed a bitter smile after recalling that she was supposed to hide that fact. To think our senior apprentice brother has been suffering from anemia before he even became a disciple of the Profound Blossom Sect. If he didn't tell us that, I wouldn't have realized that myself even in 100 years. Sun Jingjing showed a dumbfounded expression. Fang Zhenlin nodded and spoke. He sure doesn't act like someone who is anemic. Right. Just his techniques in bed screams decades of experience. Sun Jingjing mumbled out loud. Her words immediately caused the people around her to look at her with wide eyes, seemingly in disbelief of her shamelessness. Still, the girl that is currently on the stage seems a bit different than how I remember her, almost like I am looking at a different person. Even her cultivation base is. Su Yang voiced his puzzlement. It's been over a year since you last saw her. It's normal for her to look different. Said Su Yin. Hum. After a moment of pondering, Su Yang said, anyway, that's my story. We used to be engaged with each other, but that is no longer the case. I'm sure that she also feels the same way. I am not so sure about that, elder brother, Su Yin suddenly said. What do you mean by that? Su Yang raised his eyebrows in a puzzled manner. Ever since the last time you visited us, Sister Yuer started coming to our place frequently, and she would always ask us if there is any news of you. If I have to take a guess, I think she's worried about you. How is that possible? We have barely exchanged words, and in my memories she would always look at me with a disgusted expression, almost like the idea of being with me would make her puke. I don't know what else to say, elder brother. Why don't you speak to her yourself? Su Yin asked him. I have already abandoned the life I had before the Profound Blossom Sect. Anything that has happened before then, I have nothing to do with it anymore. Su Yang shook his head. A life that he did not personally lead, he would rather leave it behind, and luckily for him, he has no real attachments in that life. However, if she approaches me, that will be a different story. He continued. While Su Yang explained his story, the last match of the day has already begun. After he was finished with his explanation, the Azure Cloud sect was already on the verge of losing with only 2 participants left. Oh, and that's another disciple down for the Azure Cloud sect. Meanwhile, the Million Snake sect still has 7 disciples that can participate. Although I hate to announce the results before the very end, the chances of the Azure Cloud sect coming back at this rate is near impossible. Zai Dong expressed his thoughts to the spectators. However, looking at the Azure Cloud sect's side, none of them look defeated. In fact, they are actually smiling. Have they already given up, or is there another reason why they are all smiling right now? Although the Azure Cloud sect is down to 1 disciple whilst their opponent still has 7 disciples that can enter the arena, none of the disciples were disheartened. They were all smiling, almost like they were confident that they would win. Disciple Hong, it's your turn. The sect master of the Azure Cloud sect turned to look at her beautiful face and said. Hong Yuer nodded and approached the stage. You can do this, senior apprentice sister Hong, beat them up for us, her fellow disciples cheered for her. Before entering the fighting zone, Hong Yuer grabbed an ordinary sword from Zai Dong. A few moments later, Hong Yuer calmly stood before her opponent, who was at the peak of the true spirit realm. Hey beauty, why don't we make a deal? If you promise to have some fun with me after this, I will let you beat me up and earn some face for yourself, said the disciple from the Million Snake sect. However, Hong Yuer remained nonchalant even after hearing his words. Then don't blame me for whatever is about to happen, the disciple's face immediately fumed after being ignored by her. Begin, Zai Dong started the match a few seconds later. The moment the match started, a profound yet cold light flashed within Hong Yuer's eyes, and the sword in her grasp disappeared for an instant. Her opponent that was standing a dozen meters away suddenly collapsed on the floor while clutching the area that was between his legs. Are you okay? Zai Dong was puzzled at first. It was not until he noticed that his pants getting soaked in blood did he realize the situation. Doctor. Get me a doctor, Zai Dong shouted loudly. A few moments later, 2 doctors appeared on the stage and checked on the young man's condition. When the doctors realized the problem, their bodies trembled in fear. What happened to him? Zai Dong asked them. Castrated. He's been castrated, the doctor exclaimed in a horrified voice. What? Zai Dong immediately turned to look at Hong Yuer, who was calmly standing there like it was none of her business. If I recall correctly, this young lady should only be at the peak of the true spirit realm. There's no way that someone at that cultivation level would be able to cut flesh while inside the defensive array that is surrounding this arena, much less castrate that young man. What did she just do? Zai Dong pondered with a serious expression. Meanwhile, Su Yang was standing up at this moment with a shocked expression on his face as his eyes stared at Hong Yuer's beautiful face. Backslash. That sword technique. Impossible backslash. Chapter 373 Vanishing Sword Dance backslash. What's the matter, elder brother? Is there something wrong with Sister Yuer's sword technique? Yu Qin was startled when Su Yang suddenly stood up and shouted. Even the disciples at the Profound Blossom Sect were dumbfounded to see Su Yang acting so surprised, something they've never seen before. Her sword technique, it's called Vanishing Sword Dance. It's a sword technique meant for warlike situations. Backslash, Su Yang mumbled. Backslash, Vanishing Sword Dance. I have never heard of it before. Backslash, Su Yin said. It is only natural that Su Yin does not know about the Vanishing Sword Dance, as it is a technique that did not originate in this world. As a matter of fact, besides Su Yang, there are only two other individuals who know of this sword technique, but neither of them have the capability to pass this technique down, since they have long passed away. Backslash, although it's not exactly the same technique, it was definitely created from it, almost like a modified version. Backslash, Su Yang pondered how Hong Yuer obtained the Vanishing Sword Dance technique. Backslash, is there something special about this sword technique? Judging from your reaction, it's not something simple. Backslash. Liu Lanjai asked him with an intrigued expression. She wanted to know what could possibly cause Su Yang to make such an expression. Backslash, it's a fascinating sword technique, so much so that I was mesmerized by it. Backslash, Su Yang said with a smile that was filled with a solemn feeling. Meanwhile, near the stage, Zai Dong explained the situation to Lord Zai and Zai Xingfeng, who was surprised after hearing her name. Backslash Hong. Did you just say Hong Yuer? Backslash Zai Xingfeng asked. Backslash that Hong family. Backslash, that's right. She's the daughter of that Hong family. Backslash. Zai Dong nodded nervously after feeling an unpleasant feeling coming from Zai Xingfeng. Lord Zai looked at Zai Xingfeng at the corner of his eyes and sighed inwardly. Hong Yuer, Su Yang's fiancé before he joined the Profound Blossom Sect, he thought inwardly. Since they researched Su Yang's life, it was only natural for them to know of her existence. Backslash, so what should we do about this incident, Your Majesty? Zai Dong asked him a moment later. Backslash, the Million Snakes sect is asking for an explanation. Backslash. After a few moments of silence, Lord Zai spoke. Backslash, it is indeed an unfortunate event, but accidents are bound to happen. It's not like she killed him, he'll be fine. Backslash, he'll be fine. Backslash, Zai Dong raised an eyebrow. He cannot imagine how any man can be fine after losing their manhood that makes them a man. Sometime later, after Zai Dong explained the situation to the sect master of the Million Snakes sect, they continued on with the tournament. Backslash, I apologize for the delay, but the tournament shall be resumed now. Backslash, Zai Dong announced to the spectators. Backslash, don't kill her, but I want an arm or leg from her. Backslash, Fu Quan said to the next participant with an angry face. Backslash, don't worry, sect master. I will avenge my fellow disciple. Backslash. A few moments later, a tall man with a domineering pressure and a long spear stood before Hong Yuer. Backslash, you did a good one to my junior just now, you little bitch. Backslash, he glared at her. Backslash, are you also asking for the same treatment? Backslash, Hong Yuer spoke in a calm yet cold voice. Backslash, you can try it, but just know that it might cost you an arm or leg. Backslash, the disciple said with a frown on his face. Backslash, the match starts now. Backslash, Zai Dong announced a few moments later. Backslash, purple snake strike. Backslash, The disciple thrusts his spear the second the match starts, and an image of a giant purple snake flies towards Hong Yuer at a quick speed. How boring. A cold glint flashes in Hong Yuer's eyes, and the sword by her side trembles. Vanishing sword dance, first dance, cleaving strike. The next second the giant purple snake that was flying towards her splits in half. Impossible. The disciple's eyes widened with shock as he watched his earth-grade technique disappear. However, Hong Yuer was not finished. Vanishing sword dance, second dance, flickering strike. The sword by her side disappears for an instant, and a near-invisible sword strike flies at the disciple at the speed of light. Ah! The million snake sect's disciple immediately fell to the floor like the previous disciple, and screamed in pain as one of his arms lay a few feet away from him. This bitch. Who is she? Fu Quan gritted his teeth as he watched his own disciple writhing in pain on the stage. However, no matter how much he pondered, he cannot imagine why Hong Yuer was being so brutal and merciless to their disciples. It was almost like she had a grudge with them. D-Doctor, Zai Dong stood there staring in silence for a moment before shouting for the doctors again. Holy shit. This beautiful fairy is a brutal one. The spectators were shocked by Hong Yuer's decisive strikes. As long as she doesn't kill them, they won't have to pay the spirit stones. What a genius idea, but her actions will surely offend the Million Snake sect. What is she thinking? Why is she doing this? While the spectators speculated, Zai Dong silently waited for Lord Zai's response to the situation. Do you think she's doing this for Su Yang because of his feud with the Million Snake sect? Zai Xingfang mumbled. It will be problematic if she is. Lord Zai rubbed his temples and spoke. Losing a limb is akin to dying to some cultivators. I cannot allow her to offend the Million Snake sect like this, especially since she's related to Su Yang. After a moment of silence, he continued to speak. 1,000,000 spirit stones. That will be the punishment for inflicting crippling injuries starting now. Zai Dong nodded and proceeded to announce this new rule to everybody. D-Disciple Hong. What do you think you are doing? Aren't you being a little bit too cruel to them? Even if they roughed our disciples up a little bit, crippling them is a bit. The sect master of the Azure Cloud sect couldn't help but worry for her and the sect. Even if you are from the Hong family, we cannot afford to offend the Million Snake sect. Don't worry, sect master. I know what I am doing. Hong Yuer calmly said to him before returning to the stage for her next match. Chapter 374. Not only beautiful, but also dangerous. What is the meaning of this? Gu Guanting. Fu Quan pointed at the Azure Cloud sect's master with a fuming expression and trembling fingers. When did my Million Snake sect offend you to deserve this brutality? Or are you trying to start a war with us? However, Gu Guanting acted as though he did not notice Fu Quan and said to Hong Yuer, I hope you know what you said is true, or this will trouble not just us but your fellow disciples too. Gu Guanting. Are you ignoring me? How dare you? Fu Quan continued shouting at him, who eventually responded. Calm down, Fu Quan. It was only an accident, and I have already reprimanded my disciple for it. Accidents. Are you telling me to believe that she accidentally crippled not just one but two of my disciples in a row? Although my disciple is slightly more talented than the others, she has trouble controlling her strength. I will compensate for your losses later. Gu Guanting spoke calmly. I don't want sect master Fu Quan, please send out your next disciple. Zai Dong quickly interrupted him, as he did not want to delay the tournament any further. Fu Quan gnashed his teeth and turned to look at his disciples. Who wants to go next? He asked them. However, none of them raised their hands even many seconds later. It was almost like they were afraid to face Hong Yuer after witnessing her brutal performance. Seeing this, Fu Quan's body trembled in anger. But before he could speak, somebody finally raised his hand. I will enter the stage. Fu Quan frowned when he realized who just spoke and said, you are the only one here that has reached the earth spirit realm. Are you sure that you want to waste your strength right now? That young lady is more than meets the eye. I have a feeling that nobody else here will be able to defeat her. I can also tell that she's hiding more power than she's showing. However, that makes it more important for you to save your strength for the time being. Even if the others cannot defeat her, they can at least exhaust her. Fu Quan said to him. We still have a few disciples left. If they cannot defeat her by then, I will let you enter the stage. The disciple nodded and took a step back. Fu Quan then pointed to one of the disciples and said, get on the stage. Yes, sect master. Although he was feeling bitter, the disciple reluctantly stepped into the arena. Begin. Zidong started the match a few moments later. The second the match started, Hong Yuer rushed towards the disciple, who did not expect her sudden movements and tripped backward. And since she was prohibited from crippling them, Hong Yuer did not use her sword for this round, using only her bare hands. Of course, despite using no weapons, Hong Yuer easily overpowered the poor disciple from the Million Snakes sect, beating him until he cried for mercy. Please. Have mercy. If you have the energy to speak, you should give up. Hong Yuer spoke as she punched the disciple a few more times. My sect master will kill me if I do that. I'd rather let you beat me until I am unconscious than give up. The disciple said. Then I will beat you up until you give up or fall asleep. Hong Yuer began beating him even harder after saying those words. Have I done something to have offended this fairy? Why are you treating me like this? The disciple asked her with a crying face. HMPH. However, Hong Yuer merely snorted in response and continued beating the disciple from the Million Snakes sect. The spectators were shocked by Hong Yuer's brutality, and some of them even turned their eyes away from the stage. Of course, while some people are scared of Hong Yuer, there were many more that admire her strength at this moment, even finding it dazzling. Good heavens, this fairy is not only beautiful but also dangerous as hell. What did the Million Snakes sect do to offend her? Whatever it was they did, it is safe to say that they have touched her reverse scale. She's just like a god of war. Fierce and merciless. Not just the spectators but even Su Yang and the people around him were dumbfounded by Hong Yuer. Senior apprentice brother, your fiancé is kind of scary. Sun Jingjing said to him with wide eyes. Su Yang smiled bitterly and said, I also didn't know that she would be like this. But she reminds me of someone. If he had married to this brutal beauty, who knows if he would even survive their first night together. But the sister Yuer I know isn't normally like this. Su Yin suddenly said with a worried expression on her face. She seems to be angry at something, and she's taking it out on the Million Snakes sect. Meanwhile, near the stage, Fu Quan was staring at Hong Yuer with red veins in his eyes. He then turned to look at his disciples and said, I don't care about the 1,000,000 spirit stones penalty. I want her to become a cripple starting today. Do you hear me? Yes, sect master. Although most of the disciples knew that it was impossible for them to harm Hong Yuer, much less cripple her, They nodded their heads regardless. Sometime later, another disciple from the Million Snakes sect falls unconscious after receiving a beating from Hong Yuer. This Hong Yuer. She's too cruel of a person to be with someone as gentle as Su Yang. I'm afraid that she might kill him in his sleep if he annoys her even slightly. Zai Xingfeng shook her head. Lord Zai only looked at her with raised eyebrows and remained silent. But in his head, he thought the two of them would actually make a good pair. Of course, he was afraid that Zai Xingfeng might beat him up like Hong Yuer beating her opponents if he'd said that out loud. If only you were there to witness him decapitating Great Elder Ren. He sighed inwardly. Chapter 375 Devil's Empowerment /S. Stop. I give up. I give up /. The disciple before Hong Yuer shouted loudly after receiving her beating for many minutes straight. Ha ha ha. This fairy has finally managed to make one of them surrender before knocking them unconscious. The spectators burst with cheering after Hong Yuer's grand achievement. The Million Snakes sect can only send one more disciple to the arena after this one. The Azure Cloud sect has managed to crawl back from an impossible situation, and it's all because of this fairy. Which family is this fairy from? How come I have never heard of such a shocking character before? That's Fairy Hong Yuer from the Hong family. Although they do not bear the title of a great family, they sure as hell have the capability to compare with them. In fact, they have close relationships with one of the great families, the Su family, if I recall correctly. Fairy Hong is currently engaged to the young master of the Su family. That would be Su Yuhan, right? It's been a while since I last heard of him. It's not just you. There hasn't been any news of him for almost a year now. It's like he'd suddenly disappeared from this world. The last I heard about him was regarding some kind of injury he'd received, so that's probably why he's been so silent. While the spectators spoke with each other, Fu Quan looked at his last disciple and said with a fuming expression, I don't care if she's from the Hong family. She dared to humiliate our Million Snakes sect in front of so many people and the Zai family. I want her dead. Do you hear me, Mao Yijun? He then extended his arms and secretly handed a red pill to Mao Yijun. This is a divine pill that will significantly boost your strength for a short period of time. It is something I personally discovered a few years ago and have never revealed to the public. It will also disguise your profound qi, making it look natural and unchanged, almost like it's your normal strength. But in reality, your strength is actually much higher than it appears. The Million Snakes sect will have to surrender 10 million spirit stones if I kill her. Mao Yijun said with a serious expression. I don't care. Although it will hurt us for some time, it will be worth it if I can get rid of a monster like her, who will surely threaten us in the future if we allow her to grow stronger. While Fu Quan is still clueless about Hong Yuer's reason for targeting them, he was sure that she will become an incredible cultivator in the future given her monstrous talents, something he cannot allow to happen. If he does not take care of Hong Yuer today and she becomes that powerful figure, who knows what she will do to the Million Snakes sect. However, judging from her actions and animosity she has shown them today, it is very likely that she will try to destroy them if given the chance. After a moment of silence, Mao Yijun nodded and stealthily swallowed the red pill. The instant he swallowed the pill, Mao Yijun could feel his dantian expand and fill with profound qi. What a profound pill. What a refreshing feeling. I can get used to this feeling. Mao Yijun showed a wide smile after feeling an immense amount of power rushing into his body. If he had to take a guess, his cultivation level would be comparable to someone at the 9th level of the Earth Spirit realm, nearly a whole realm higher than his actual strength. After stretching his muscles that were screaming for action, Mao Yijin stepped onto the stage. Hong Yuer's calm expression changed for the first time after sensing Mao Yijin's aura. Devil's empowerment, huh? I didn't think that this kind of pill would exist in this world too. Hong Yuer mumbled in a low voice. Mao Yijin frowned when he heard her words. How did she figure out that he'd taken a pill? Didn't Fu Quan just say that it's impossible to tell? Don't worry, I won't say anything. Hong Yuer showed him a mysterious smile. After all, even if I don't do anything, you will still lose. Look. Fairy Hong is actually smiling. What do you think caused her to smile? Many spectators were immediately enchanted by her smile. Devil's empowerment. Su Yang also noticed the situation. What did you just say? Bai Lihua turned to look at him after hearing its ominous name. They are playing dirty as usual. Devil's empowerment. It's a pill that will increase your cultivation level to the peak of its realm for a short time before its backlash that will rob you of all your cultivation and kill you. That disciple is currently feeling its effects. What? But he's clearly still at the first level of the Earth Spirit realm. Bai Lihua said to him. You will understand once he starts using his techniques. Su Yang didn't bother to explain. Bai Lihua did not say anything else and turned her head to focus on the stage, where Zai Dong just announced the start of the final fight for the day. Where are you going? Aren't you going to beat me up like you did to my fellow disciples? Mao Yijin chased after Hong Yuer, who immediately began running the opposite direction at the start of the fight. Like I'd said, I will win even without lifting a single finger against you. Hong Yuer said as she continued to evade Mao Yijin like she's running away from a bug. Hong Yuer's actions baffled the spectators and confused them at the same time, as all of them had expected her to beat Mao Yijin up from the start like the previous fights. What's Fairy Hong doing? Why is she avoiding Mao Yijin? Maybe she's trying to recover some strength before confronting him. After all, she's been fighting without rest. They all speculated the reason for Hong Yuer's weird behavior.